Go Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
It happened.
What happened?
It actually happened.
What happened?
News broke just minutes before. Can you stop moving that?
I'm
Everybody
sorry.
can hear that.
Okay.
That's the mic stand. News broke just minutes before the show started, which means things are better.
Yay! Wow, what a great way to come back from our little hiatus.
I know, right? I think 2017 is looking good. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the 2017 NHL All-Star roster.
Oh, wow. That's not the news I expected to hear.
Okay, well, we'll get into the news that you thought you might hear in a bit.
Okay.
But first, let's talk about the NHL All-Star roster, shall we?
I want to hear it.
All right, I'm going to save the Leafs division for the last.
Okay.
The Metropolitan...
Not the Atlantic, the Leafs division. I love it. No, that's what they should be called.
Absolutely, because it will be the Leafs division for at least the next decade. Ooh. Anyway, Metropolitan Division All-Star team. Forwards, Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, which
Gross.
is... Okay, that we can just stop right there.
Wow, wait, they're going to make Sidney Crosby go to the All-Star game?
Yes.
Oh,
He's only been once.
We will see.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Sidney
We will
Crosby
see.
asterisk. He's been one time. Childhood friend of mine, Wayne Simmons, and that's really a stretch. We grew up together. We played road hockey together. I wouldn't call him childhood friend. But
I'm glad
we were
he
very
made
friendly.
it. There you
Very,
go.
very glad. He deserves it. Jeff Skinner of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Wow. Okay, I haven't been paying attention to
having
his
a very
season.
good
He's had a very
Is
good
he?
year.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
okay.
it's nice because I remember talking about it on the show, like the concussion issues he was dealing with. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everyone wrote him off. It's like, no, maybe he's just, not quite crisp.
Yes.
14 goals, 15 assists, 29 points.
That's pretty good. It's no Austin Matthews, but I mean, he's pretty good.
Kevin Hayes of the New York Rangers.
Very good.
John Tavares of the New York, we're not sure.
Yeah,
The New York Islanders.
the orange and blue team from the Rangers
Brooklyn,
area.
Rhode Island.
Well, I'm just glad he gets to play with good players.
I gotta say, P.A. Pereto would sure have looked good on his wing.
Oh
wouldn't you
my
think?
God!
Like
He's
how-
having himself a year too.
Yeah, of course he is. He had himself a year last year on the NHL's worst team.
Yeah, I don't get it.
On defense, Ryan McDonough, New York Rangers.
Good.
Zach Werenski, well-deserved, Columbus Blue
Absolutely.
Jacket. First rookie that we've named so far. And Chris Letang of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The goaltenders being Bobrovsky and Schneider, Columbus and New Jersey, respectively.
Oh, what a great vacation that's going to be for Schneider. Oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah, really, no kidding. All right, I'm going to skip the Atlantic. We're going to go right to the Central,
The what?
the Leafs division.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
so
the Toronto
so
Maple
now we're
Leafs
doing
division.
the Central.
That's right.
Okay.
At forward, Mark Scheifele, Winnipeg Jets. Patrick Kane, Chicago Blackhawks. Vladimir Tarasenko, St. Louis Blues. Patrick Laine, asterisk beside that too, because
Yeah.
hopefully he's back. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Tyler Seguin, Dallas Stars, and Nathan McKinnon of the Colorado Tire Fires. On defense, Ryan Suter. Oh yeah, him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's still one of the best defensemen in the league.
Still good.
Minnesota Wild. Duncan Keith of the Chicago Blackhawks. And PK Subban. Nashville Predators.
There's another asterisk,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously. Well, speaking of which, remind me that I have to bring up the Lightning Nashville game that I was at last week.
Oh, yes, because you were in Florida again.
I was in Florida again. And I got to tell you,
You
man,
missed the World Junior Finals for that.
I did. It was a brutal game. I regret that. Had it been a good game, I wouldn't have felt so bad.
If Canada had won that game, we would be talking about it as one of the best World Junior Finals ever.
But it wasn't. And the shootout
Because they
was
lost.
BS.
And the shootout stinks.
Goaltenders, Devin Dubnyk.
Dubnyk! You're right.
Is it Dubnyk?
No, it's Dubnyk.
Oh, it's okay. Well, Devin Dubnyk, Minnesota Wild, and Pekka Rinne, Nashville Predators.
Sure.
Who is actually having himself a year. Come on, he's better this year.
Hey, you know what? He's better, and I was thinking of the other goalies in the Central, and it's a bit of a
Who
rough
else do you
patch.
have?
Well, Dallas, just no.
Nope.
Winnipeg improved, but no.
Yeah, it's not going to be Connor Hellebuck. Sorry, Connor Hellebuck, but
Is Corey Crawford, he's not in there?
no, he's not.
Okay, that's a little
Interestingly.
confusing. But I guess, you already got 2 Blackhawks in there. You can't have 9 Blackhawks every
You
friggin'
could
year.
literally make them... I mean,
Just make it the top 5 or 6 paid Penguins against the top 5 or 6 paid Blackhawks.
That's an all-star
every year,
game.
and that's the All-Star game.
And the Stanley Cup final, really.
Yeah.
Pacific All-Star team. Connor McDavid, Edmonton Oilers. Joe Pavelski, San Jose Sharks. Jeff Carter, LA Kings. Ryan Getzlaf, Anaheim Ducks. Bo Horvat, Vancouver Canucks.
That's a good choice.
He's having a pretty good year.
Can anyone guess the Calgary Flames pick?
I would assume Gaudreau.
Frolik.
Because you looked at it.
I am not
What?
looking at it because
It
I
was
picked him up in fantasy.
Michael
Because he's having a
Frolik.
good year.
Michael Frolik is the
Is he
guy.
the leading scorer?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Nice, Jesse.
Good for him.
I know, that's why I was like, huh?
I mean, on one hand, yeah, you want to award the best players. On the other hand, yeah, you know who I want to use to sell the game of hockey?
Michael
Frolik.
Yeah, you know, if there's anything that's going to get me to buy a ticket to the All-Star game, it's Michael Frolik.
I want to see Johnny Gaudreau do something stupid.
Yeah.
Like, do something. He scored one of the best goals I've ever seen last week against Calvin Pickard, who I called Chet Pickard, who I think is his brother.
Chet's a better name.
It is.
It's right up there with Tad and Chad.
If he falls out as a goalie, he can be a country music star.
He sure can. Defenseman. We've got, and this is again from the Pacific Division, Brent Burns of the San Jose Sharks, Drew Doughty of the LA Kings, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who deserves a Norris, but Doughty keeps stealing it. Although he sold it only one time. Really, Oliver Ekman-Larsson to me is one of the best defensemen that no one talks about.
The same argument as Doughty, except Larson doesn't give interviews as much. There it is. What? Why is that even wrong to
He
say?
doesn't play in LA.
And he doesn't.
Well, that's
play in
why
LA.
he doesn't give interviews as much, is because no one's there.
No one can find the arena.
No, you just take the 405 down to the one.
No, Arizona is not the Californians.
Oh no, I thought we were talking about the Kings.
No, it's
No one can find the stadium in Arizona.
They get there and there's a hockey team, and it's like, what are you doing here?
Poor Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I think there's a reason that Arizona should trade him to the Leafs, so he can win a Norris.
Oh, okay.
Do good by Oliver
Do you
Ekman-Larsson.
think- And now this is going to be an interesting thing, because when the Leafs are undeniably good,
Nah.
I don't think people are going to.
No, people are still questioning it now.
Well, how dare they?
Eventually, they'll just be like, yeah, they're good, but they won't win because.
If you don't make
Like-
the playoffs, are you good?
Yeah. We're going to make the playoffs. So it
Now
doesn't
we need to
matter.
redefine good. What's the difference between good and okay here?
I don't think it's a debate.
Like, what's the difference between good
No,
and
you got to make the
decent?
playoffs to be good.
But the question, if they're going to make the playoffs, isn't a question.
So you think?
Yeah, it's
for sure.
it's
It's looking good.
We're making the playoffs.
Anyway, the point I was trying to make is when they are winning divisions, there we go. When they are winning divisions, I still don't think writers, like the Pro Hockey Writers Association, is going to be lining up to hand the Leafs awards. No way.
Not even local Toronto writers will line up to do that. In fact,
No.
they'll go out of their way not to. Brent Burns, Drew Doughty, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I did that. Goaltenders: Cam Talbot, Edmonton Oilers.
That's a good pick.
I think so too. Martin Jones, San Jose Sharks.
That's a good pick. I almost corrected you and said, no, that's LA Kings, Adam.
There's one king on the entire roster, right?
And that is
Drew Doughty.
And it's in LA.
Oh,
Is it not?
now. Are there not
It is in
picks?
LA.
Yeah, there will be ballots. There will be ballots.
so this isn't the full.
This isn't the
thing.
full because I believe we still have to finish the voting. Do we not?
I don't know.
Let me check that. I don't really know because, quite honestly, there hasn't really been a big. Yeah, fans can have their say as well with the NHL All-Star fan vote.
Fans can, in brackets or in quotes, have their say.
Yeah, as long as we have ours first.
Yeah, except for you screwed it up last year. You bunch of jerks. Whatever.
No.
Worth it.
You
Worth
did
it.
right by the All-Star game last year.
Worth it. Worth it.
Shall we talk about the Leafs division?
Absolutely.
Matthews.
Can I have a guess? It won't be Austin Matthews.
You don't think so, eh?
My
No.
guess is Matthews.
Why not?
Because Lou Lamoriello will not let rookies do things. So
I've heard that he doesn't want him to go. heard that.
I know.
Is that
I
true?
know. You know what? I don't think he liked letting rookies do anything, and I think he was opposed to the World Juniors, like sending people to the World Juniors. And last year, I think someone convinced him, let William Nylander go. First or second game, Nylander gets a concussion, and supposedly Lou flew over to Europe, and I think that was him just going, nope.
Going home now.
Never again. Everyone wrecked it. Or you just wrecked it for everybody.
Of course, that would happen the one time you get Lou Lamoriello to move on something, right?
Of course. Yeah. And now the one time you got him to budge, no, that is cemented, bolted, welded shut.
Who's our second leading scorer?
Behind Matthews?
Yeah.
Is it Marner?
Marner, isn't it?
Or is it JVR?
I don't know.
Because I was going to say it'll either be Kadri or JVR.
Okay.
Possibly Morgan Ryan.
How many people from the Leafs do you think make the All-Star team?
I think we get 2.
You think we get 2? Because most
think
teams,
we
like
get-
LA's only got 1. Think about it like
I'm
that.
going to say 1.
Do we have 2 goalies?
I'm not going to say anything.
I don't remember if he said 2 goalies.
Oh, no, 2 goalies in each division?
Yeah.
There are 2 goalies in each division.
Okay.
I
I
hope they
say-
don't send Freddie because
I think
God,
we
he needs some time off.
We get Freddie and Matthews. That's my pick.
no, I won't.
Freddie
be
Matthews, okay.
I'm going to say Freddie JVR.
Now, are you taking 2? Because
I am.
Jesse's confidently going with 2.
JVR, and that's it. Final answer.
Well, if you guys were together, you'd be mostly correct.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to go through the names. On forward.
Here, say the Leafs last.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we got Nikita Kucherov, Tampa Bay Lightning.
makes sense.
Nice. Only healthy.
Jonathan Marchessault.
Marshmallow.
Yeah, from the Florida
Hey.
Panthers. Good for him.
That's a good pick.
Shea Weber, Eric Carlson. So Shea Weber, Montreal. Eric Carlson, Senators. Rasmus Ristolainen, Buffalo Sabres, because they gotta put someone from
Weber
that
and
team in there.
PK are gonna be
I mean,
there?
come on.
Weber and PK are going to be there.
Weber and PK on opposite sides.
So that'll be fun.
I hope PK is healthy because they should do something funny together.
Brad Marchand,
Deserved.
Boston Bruins. Gus Nyquist from Detroit.
Deserved.
Although I would have gone with Anthony Mantha, but
He's played I think less than 20 games. Maybe 20 games.
you're right. And then Carey Price, of course.
Of course.
And
Okay, there's one goalie.
Yeah.
We got one.
We got Freddie.
Tuukka Rask.
Hey! Oh, you know what?
Damn it.
Freddie definitely deserves to be in there, but
The way he started the season, I can see why.
yeah,
Why he's
rough
not.
start. And for the love of God, he's going to start 70 games.
Yeah, because we can't find a backup. So,
give him a rest.
so here's what's interesting. We have 2 Toronto Maple Leafs on the roster.
So it's JVR Matthews.
That is correct.
Oh wow!
It's
I
coming
mean-
up, T-Dot.
You know what? You had Laine on one of the teams. Matthews, 21 goals, leading scorer of the Leafs.
Better player.
Better player. You gotta have him in there.
You gotta have him in.
Gotta have him in there.
But hey, how nice is it? This breaking news stuff is fun.
Yeah.
That is fun.
That was fun. I hope that they break more news in the morning because we record this at noon.
I thought you were going to say that the Leafs had claimed a backup goalie.
Is that
Is that news?
Bacalani?
I think I think the Leafs are going to claim Curtis Backup Laney, who is
Curtis McElhaney formerly of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
he was just put on waivers. And I don't know, has that news not come through yet?
No, nothing. What, you didn't think they'd go for Jonas Gustafsson?
There it is. Toronto claims Curtis McElhaney on waivers from Columbus.
Well done.
There's the news. So, I mean, the writing seemed to be on the wall.
Curtis McElhaney.
Curtis Backup Laney.
I love it. Yeah, Winnipeg's got Laine. And we got
Backup Laine.
Bacalani.
Oh, Adam, no.
Bacalani.
Oh, Adam. So now this is interesting, okay? So yesterday, the Marlies released Jeff Glass from his either amateur tryout or pro tryout. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass. Kerry Ramo has played like 3 games. I don't know if he got hurt
880
again.
shave percentage.
Yeah, not good.
I would, if I were him, I'd go to like Sweden or Finland for a year and then get better.
Ramo, well, probably Finland. That's where he's from.
Yeah. Like just go home, get comfortable, get back to your form, and then come back next year on a PTO.
He might be toast. He might be toast. We'll see. So I think it's down to, if we're counting Ramo out, Sparks, Bebo, and now Enroth's there. I don't know. Do they got to put Enroth
Can they
back on
send Roth
waivers?
him to the ECHL?
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
What are they going to do?
I don't know.
Can you rotate 3 goalies, or do you just let Enroth sit because you need Sparks and Bebo to get
This
the
is
starts?
interesting now. How do the Leafs have a roster spot to do this? Who's hurt?
Maybe that's the news that hasn't broken yet.
Well, and in other news, supposedly Brooks Laich has been battling a mystery injury on the Marlies.
Since December the 16th?
Something like that, and he's working on coming back. I hope he is.
What's interesting about that particular instance is that it seemed like, from what I read, and I could be wrong here, when Brooks Laich was quoted on this one, or when he was asked, it seemed like he was confused about it.
Huh.
Maybe it was that the Marlies' messaging was confused, but Yeah. What I read was interesting. I don't know.
I feel horrible for him.
According to Cap Friendly, we have 23 of 23 with McElhaney. And then 48 of 50.
Anyone on IR?
Anyone new?
Oh, does Corrado being in the AHL on a conditioning stint have anything to do with it?
That might be it then. But no, he's on the conditioning status, but he's still on the roster.
Very confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Hey, let Brandon Pridham do all that.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You take it.
Good.
That'd be great if Curtis McElhaney works out. Here's my question.
Okay.
If Curtis McElhaney, and it's understandable, Columbus is, I
Can
think,
you look up his stats, please?
pretty sure Columbus is the number one team in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
If he can't be the backup for them, it doesn't mean he can't be the backup for us. My question, though, is what if it doesn't work? What then?
Then it doesn't. I mean, they're trying, I think, so it's early January, right? Mm-hmm. Creeping into mid-January. It's the perfect time to grab a guy off waivers, evaluate him. If he works, wonderful. If he doesn't work, then maybe you got to do something at the deadline. Because the Leafs they just can't ride Freddie like this.
No.
They can't.
And Curtis McElhaney, low risk because at the end of the season his contract's up.
Yes. Well, and I didn't understand. I don't understand the desperate need for a backup because while my faith in Bibo is definitely shaky, he's played 2 games, looked great in both.
I thought he was fine, yeah.
Great in both. Like if I'm Bibo, I'm going, why don't I get an extended shot? I did fine.
Now, is it because he looked great that they thought better that he gets his starts?
Oh, maybe. So maybe
We don't want to derail this momentum. We know this guy's because Bibo has been a hot and cold goaltender, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been scorching hot and then like ice cold bad. Maybe they just want him to. They probably want him to find his center where he's just good all the time.
maybe they've finally made a choice between him and Sparks. Mm-hmm. Columbus has a hole in net in the AHL now. Maybe they send him Sparks. I don't know.
Well, no, Columbus. The reason I read, at least from a Columbus source, that they did this was because they have 2 great goaltenders in the AHL that they want to give looks
Yeah,
at.
Jonas Korpisalo.
Yeah.
Who was their backup last year? But I guess McElhaney must have got hurt or something.
Yeah.
But he was good. He was good last year.
So they want to give him another shot, which I think is cool.
I think he beat the Leafs. Actually,
His numbers weren't.
Well,
the
I
greatest last year.
We're not setting the jump bar very high there.
He had an 890 last year with 2.7 and 3.
Oh, never mind.
Well, I guess his AHL numbers might be.
Yeah, I seem to
Yeah,
remember him
better.
being better than that, but whatever.
And then this year in the NHL, in 7 appearances, he's got a 924 save percentage.
There you go. Much
Well,
better.
there you go.
That's Mac or Korpisalo?
McElhaney.
That was
Oh,
McElhaney.
that's McElhaney.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Good. Hooray.
7 games for a goaltender is, 7 games at 924 save percentage. Pretty good. Pretty darn good.
It's all right. I mean, it's
Better than what we had.
It's just so hard to judge based on that. Yeah, Enroth. I feel so bad for Enroth, man. He deserved the shot he got, and he just blew it. He blew it. Sad. I don't know.
He did seem
I wish I
kinda
could
like-
expand on that.
He did seem kind of like the perfect fit. Whenever I hear people mentioning why he didn't work, or no reporter will actually come out and say it's because he's 5'9". But what they will say is Babcock tends to favor big goalies, which basically means it's because he's 5'9" and played. What did he play? 3 games? 4 games?
Yeah, he barely played, but I mean, if you only get into 4 games, you got to be good in those 4 games. And he wasn't good in. I think he might have played 1 really good game against Minnesota, and they lost, and that was his first one. And then after that, it was garbage. Letting 3 goals against the Flames, I think that's when they were like, "All right, we're done here." He was also in net for the 3-0 collapse against New Jersey.
And this is something that I think is hit me more this year than it ever has before. Because I'm used to the Leafs being the team that, well, we got a bunch of old guys. We got this young guy, Lonnie Bohannes, who comes up and scores every freaking game that he plays, but we got a bunch of guys on pro deals, so there's really no room on this team for him. And they did this with Nathan Dempsey. They did this with, Strawman. They did a whole bunch of people that they were like, oh, we got NHLers, so if you come to camp, you're never going to make it.
Steve Sullivan, you did a great job. Waivers.
Yeah. Thank you for the 20 goals and 40 points. See you later.
Yeah.
I think now the NHL, and maybe it's just the Leafs, but I feel like the NHL is far more competitive and cutthroat than ever.
Oh yeah, and if we're lucky, it'll stay that way, right? I feel bad for these people individually as human beings, but like it means the league is, more competitive than ever. So it's going to get to the point, well, like it's almost an artificial way of keeping salaries down in a way. Some people might laugh at that, but it's true. Like if you are a fringe NHLer and you make $1.5 million and there's another guy who is about as good as you, and he makes $750,000, who do you think teams are going to take? They're going to take the guy making like half of what you are. It's competitive, man.
It's good.
What's McElhinney making?
$800,000.
So a hair more than Enroth.
Who's making
And that's
750.
variable. You can send that down if you want to.
It's all very interesting. It's, you know what? It's encouraging though, because in a way it's a soft buy, but it's a buy.
Sure. Absolutely.
The Leafs, I think, are thinking playoffs. Man.
Well, and it's funny that you mentioned that because the first, I believe it was there was a newspaper here in town, and it was, I'm not going to say which one, but it's the trashy one.
Eye opener.
The trashy one.
Dangle time.
It's the one that isn't. That tends to employ those sports guys who don't really report on anything. They just go, "Here's my opinion," blah 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 blah.
Okay.
The front
That
page
didn't
was
narrow him down very
"Go
well.
Leafs, no?" ? Go Leafs, no. And so
they're asking the question
Go
like,
Leafs, no. As in, why not? As in, it's a hopeful title. But the point of it, the byline on it was the Leafs should look at making. They're clearly jumped ahead. They should look at adding a player now.
Interesting. No,
No, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't.
Not.
But of course, that paper and that audience, because that's what that paper does. It caters to an audience, of course.
Yeah.
That audience would be totally down for that. Like, add a player. What player? What player? How are you? Have you looked at? There are 48 contracts on this team. We can have a maximum of 50. Whoa, what player? How are you going to? Nobody can make a trade. But they're like, nope, player. Otherwise, we're not serious, eh, bud?
So again, I'm trying not to sound pompous when I say this, but again, if you listen to the show, you're one of the top 1% of hockey fans. You know your stuff, and I'm not saying that because like we're the best show.
No, I'm saying that because I'm regularly corrected.
Well, there's that, but also,
that's good.
If you're enough of a hockey fan that you seek out a hockey podcast, you're hardcore.
Higher, yeah.
The hardest core of the hardcore. You ever just like sit down with like an uncle or something at like Christmas dinner, and they're like, you know what I think should happen, but it's not that they're wrong or that their opinion's bad. It's that a lot of hockey fans just don't know how the rules work.
Yeah, there are a lot of rules.
It takes a lot of effort to know how the rules
Dude,
work.
we don't know how the rules work.
No, we're regular. Do you know how bummed I was? Like, I was happy for my friend that he got hired, but Tom getting hired by the Las Vegas NHL team was a huge blow to this show because I couldn't text him and harass him at all hours. It sucked. But, they should add this guy. They should add that guy. They should trade this guy for that guy. Yeah, but one of them makes $6 million and the other guy is like a rookie. Yeah, well... I'm
sure they can figure that out. Just throw some bum in the deal. Oh yeah, just some bum who makes $5 million.
Gotta strike while the iron's hot. Babcock. And they're not wrong and they're not dumb. It's just they don't know how it works.
They don't know how hard it is to make a trade now.
This is the problem the NHL faces. How do you expect fans to understand this?
And also, how do you expect fans to trade? I don't care what anyone says. Trades are exciting and interesting. People adore them. So you're killing your trades.
Someone tweeted this today. Who was it? Platinum Seat Ghosts.
Great follow, by the way.
Absolutely. And I don't know, this idea might have been pitched before, but whatever. Should the trade deadline be like the draft? Everyone in one place, in one room, televised.
Yes.
No, you can't do it. You can't tell people not to trade because you'll have to delay all trades up until that day.
No.
No.
Because to make it compelling, you need everybody to do their trades there. You can't tell people, okay, you can't trade on the weekend before because on Monday we have this big TV special.
No, you can't do that. However, it would be hilarious to have a camera on Lou Lamoriello all day.
Yeah.
I just like it for that. To me, that's entertainment. Because at least then I get to see them
one
interacting.
sec. He just spray paints the camera.
Black, yeah.
Whenever he needs to. We can still hear everything he's saying. He doesn't know.
He just shoots teams a glare and they make a trade. Like he doesn't even talk to them. It's like, oh, Lou's looking at us. All right, fine, whatever he wants.
Lou just looks into the camera. Jacob Trouba's on his way. What did they give up? Nothing. It's the darndest thing.
It is the craziest thing. Yeah, it is an interesting prospect to think, wow, the Leafs could bring someone in to help the big long playoff run. You know what? This year's not about that. This year is about getting to the playoffs and being competitive in the playoffs.
This year is
now.
It would be nice to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said
because at the beginning of the season it would be nice. I think now it's get to them and be competitive in them.
This is what I said in either my last LFR or the one before that. Before the season, yeah, that'd be great, but I still give them like a 20% chance or whatever I was saying, 25% chance. Now they're in a spot. Okay, games in hand, and I think someone might have leapfrogged them, but if you go by points percentage, they're in a spot, which means for them to not make the playoffs, they would have to lose that spot. So yeah, actually, it would be really disappointing if they didn't make it. I hope they don't do anything dumb, though.
No, me too. But I don't think they will.
You don't think they'll make it?
I don't think they'll
do anything dumb.
No, I've said I think I was a little more optimistic about this season than I think the two of you were at the beginning of the thing. But that's not saying that I'm some prophet, obviously. I just thought that they were a lot better than people gave them credit for.
I didn't know they were this good.
Oh, I don't think anybody did.
Yeah,
I don't think they knew they were this good.
A lot of people thought they would be like a laughingstock still, which no.
You know who has surprised me the most? Mitch Marner.
Probably, yeah.
And that's not against Mitch, and that's not against Austin, that's not against Nylander. It's just, I honestly feel like Mitch Marner is way better than anybody even hinted at. We
were still debating Marner versus Strome.
Yeah, is it better for? Yeah, exactly. And is it better for Marner to go back to, we were talking about that right up until the season? Is there anything left for him to do in junior? Sure sucks he can't go to the AHL.
Yeah,
think about that. We said that, but we didn't know.
And he's one of their top offensive weapons. Man, I wrote a blog that was way too long, so we divided it into two.
Okay.
It was the idea was the top 5 Leafs games of the season so far. I came up with a list of a dozen or whatever, so I came up with my top 5, and then I did 5 honorable mentions. Really, it's a top 10. So the 10 through 6 is up today, and I got to go through the games so far this season. Marner's a magician. An absolute magician.
He's a magician.
Oh my goodness, that's good. I can't.
Come on, I've said that a few times.
You have, but I always forget. Magician. I really like that. He'll look good on a team with Curtis backup later. I think personally.
Are you slowly? I think you're slowly jumping on the pun train. Not even slowly. You're now fully on the pun train.
Choo choo. Choo choo. It's like a train. We're rusty, okay? We're rusty.
Yeah, it's the first one of the year. We got to set the bar low.
Choo back on the train.
How about you say some stuff, Jesse? How about you say some things?
People actually said on our Reddit page, I was reading over the holidays, they were like, I want more hot takes from Jesse. I was like, well, I'm sure. Yeah, me too. I like Jesse's hot takes.
Honk,
they're like,
honk. I'm just going to turn right.
honk, honk.
I'm gonna have to put up a red light there.
Oh.
I'm going to have to throw up a stop sign.
This is gross.
Anyway, Matthews scores goals. Mm-hmm. We remember goals. You know, they're way easy. They stick in your brain. You only have to remember one player, the guy who scored. Marner's assists. I don't think I've ever seen a Leaf like this. I don't think I've seen a Leaf that can do what Mitch Marner can do in terms of playmaking in my lifetime. Well, I'm trying to think of one.
So I was reading Chris Johnson's mid-season report on the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's game 38, so it's a good time to do it.
39.
We've played 38 games. We're going
to play 39.
Oh, yeah. Well then that's a mistake in Chris Johnson's article. We should tell him. No, I'm kidding. Wow. Maybe I read it wrong.
So, I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I'm going with that too. That's why I put it in there. What was interesting was, so there are 2 people who are on track for 30 goal seasons that are kind of a surprise to me.
On the Leafs?
Okay. Yeah, because normally they're 20 to 25 guys. James Van Riemsdyk, normally a 20 to 25 guy.
Oh, I know who you're going to say.
And Nazem Kadri.
His career high is apparently 20.
Which is nuts.
Which I think might have also happened in the lockout year.
And you look at who he's playing with, who, it was Connor Brown, sometimes it's William Nylander, and always Leo Komarov.
Yes.
And Leo Komarov is a great guy and a great player, but not a prolific scorer.
Started the season, by the way, because one of the games, I think my number 6 game was the Leafs home opener. That's how stiff the competition has been, by the way, that game didn't even crack the top 5. You know who got the 4th goal in that game? A line mate of Leo Komarov? Milan Mihalik.
Right. And that was right. He was like in the net. Like
Oh, yeah. He was like right there. He had a decent couple games, and they just decided, nah.
Connor
gone.
Brown, though.
Hey, Connor Brown's been great, though.
He has. It was the right choice. I honestly, though, I think it's really interesting. But James Van Riemsdyk, who's only hit 30 goals once in his career, isn't it interesting that...
Really?
Yeah. Isn't it interesting that he's on track for goal high and point high now that Mitch Marner's his line mate? And that's nothing against... And Tyler Bozak, who has been playing with them way less minutes this year that he's used to having, and his points per game pace or his points per minute pace is like way higher or better. It's great.
Bozak, man, you got to give him credit. You have to give him credit. How long... we can't fall back on it's all Phil Kessel's doing.
No.
You could say, well, instead of Phil Kessel, it's Mitch Marner. Fine, whatever. I mean, I don't care at this point. He's there and he's putting up points.
And he is in our biggest problem, and it was not with Tyler Bozak personally, was always he's the first line center on a team where he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
He is not a first line center. He's now playing, I think, some of the best hockey of his career in a second, third line role.
We took it a little too far. And by we, I just mean like the Leafs hockey community. I personally feel bad. I don't think most do, but I personally feel a little bit bad. I mean, just because now it's funny. He's Dad Bozak.
Yeah, he's got it, and he's got the cutest kid imaginable.
Cannon Bozak.
A great name.
Yeah, he's Dad.
I'm going to name my kid after a freaking gun. Like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Cannon.
I mean, he's definitely going to play in the WHL.
For sure.
Honest,
yeah, absolutely.
Cannon Bozak. That's a lot of letters.
He has to have a slap shot with a name like that.
Oh my god!
If you don't have a slap shot with a name like that, come on.
At 60 kilometers an hour, yeah, you can't have a rubber arm slap shot.
No.
Got to be good.
He's the dad now. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the fact that the Leafs are on a bye week. It's amazing that we've been able to focus 25 minutes of this show on the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have not played and will not play for like 7 straight days. I
think that's what makes Leafs fans great.
All right, so Steve, I got to know, because you were the one who was there. You got a behind-the-scenes look. You get to talk to the players. How was the Winter Classic? And it's our first episode since, so...
You'll have to ask someone who was in St. Louis, Adam. I was at the Centennial Classic.
Centennial Classic.
Whoa. I mean, let's be honest. That's what it was.
No, there was a Winter Classic.
No? Okay.
It was the Centennial Classic.
You know what? We had Brian Adams. They had Nelly. In St. Louis.
Whoa.
They also had Wayne Gretzky, and we had Wayne Gretzky, which was the craziest thing ever.
How did we have Wayne Gretzky too?
Wait, was that the same day?
It was the next day.
Next day.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did we wait for? Oh, did he come? He
Yeah,
just came?
just for the celebration.
He
100
did a
years,
ceremony, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was about to get on a plane to Florida. Because I went to Florida.
Of course. Again.
I went back to Florida. I was watching on the Sportsnet app. So I didn't see all of it. I saw a good chunk of the game.
It's a little bit of a strange ceremony. Okay? They start with, and here's Wayne Gretzky, and he comes out in big ovation, and a bunch of men 40 years older than Wayne Gretzky. Like there was no continuity.
Was it the top 100 players of all time thing?
Yes, but then they also did like I can't even remember. They brought out Dave Keon and Johnny Bauer, but they were separated somehow. I don't know. Anyway, it was neat. So, yeah, I was at both days. I was at the Alumni game and the Centennial Classic itself as a reporter, allegedly. So what I did both days, because I had
hard allegedly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had seats.
That's Steve's entire life.
Oh, yeah.
I work allegedly.
And I was working allegedly. What I would do is I'd wear my winter coat, I'd put my jersey over the coat, and then with about 5 minutes to go in the third, I took the jersey off and put my press pass on and went down to go cover it.
I loved your all the chirps you were getting. You took a picture and you had the jersey on over your coat.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh, someone was enjoying the holidays. First of all, yes, I was. First of all, you don't need to make a joke about me being supposedly fat. I was fat. Okay? But it's okay. I worked out like 3 times since then, so it's all gone now.
God, I haven't even done that. Boy.
No. As I adjust my shirt to make sure nothing's showing. And I got to go down there and it's like walking into your television from childhood. It's bizarre. Like Dave Anderchuk's there, and he looks a little different from how I remember him, but it's Dave Anderchuk. And there's Felix effing Potvin.
And you finally met him.
Well, I finally met him for free. The last time I met him, I paid $30 for his autograph.
That's BS.
10 years ago. 9 or 10 years ago. Yeah, he was there. Who else I talked to? Dmitry Yuskevich. I loved him as a kid. And Brian McCabe. That was neat because he's still like kind of in the thick of it, right? He's got some kind of role with the Florida Panthers. I learned some cool things. I didn't know Dmitry Yuskevich used to coach Nikita Zaitsev.
Didn't know that either.
Yep. Back in the KHL on Novosibirsk, I think. It was Yushkevich's rookie year as an assistant coach in that league, and it was Zaitsev's rookie year as a player.
Okay.
And
what do you say about him?
He said he's doing great.
Good.
He's doing great. I joke, I figure out hockey when I'm 29, he's 25, he's already better.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
I liked seeing him and Markov out there together because my favorite memories of those two were shutting down the Pittsburgh Penguins, specifically Jaromir Jagr in Cujo's first year.
Yeah, and Markov with the jerk move of all time, giving the Yag salute.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I was at that game. Because I was at...
In Pittsburgh?
Oh, that was in Pittsburgh?
Okay,
I wasn't at that one. I was at a game where I was at game... I want to say 4, maybe 5.
You've brought this up before.
Yeah, and they were we were singing like goodbye. We were laughing at Jagr for slamming the penalty box at the end of the game. Sylvain Cote scored the first goal. It was a 4-1 Leafs win, and that was not how it was supposed. Like Pittsburgh was supposed to roll.
No, that series ended in overtime.
Yeah, but that particular game.
Oh, right. Okay.
Was a 4-1 Leafs win, and I remember that being a surprise. Like people were like, Leafs are not supposed to be winning this, and they were never supposed to get past Philadelphia in the first round too.
Well.
And it was amazing.
Cujo, man.
Cujo. Seriously, Cujo.
Speaking of Cujo, so, okay. What is a notorious thing about men's change rooms at the gym?
Smelly?
The old dude who's walking around just not
naked.
caring because he's just
and
naked.
The older, the nakeder.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
That was very true when it came to the alumni locker room. And I refrained from putting this in the video. But the older the player was, the more likely I was...
So you saw Mike Palmateer naked?
No, he was fully clothed.
Oh, okay.
I think he... because he would have maybe needed help taking off his equipment after that friggin' save.
That was a hell of a save.
It was so good that he was like, and done.
Yeah, because he probably had bruising on his wrist or on like his entire side of his body.
Yeah, he said he wrenched his back.
I bet.
But he was upright after the game. But I'm walking around the room and Mike Gardner, one of the older players, it's just a towel. Boreas Salming. Oh boy.
Yeah, but Boreas Salming is in such good shape you almost want to, right?
All the Leafs alumni were calling him Skeletor.
He doesn't have an ounce of fat on his body. I've seen him I saw him walking around the Eaton Center in downtown Toronto once, and I was like, damn, dude, really?
He's one of the oldest, if not the oldest player on that team, and he might have been the most fit.
I wouldn't surprise me at all. And he's got his own underwear line in Sweden.
Wow.
It's called Borea.
What? That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't I wish he was wearing them.
He was. It's too bad he wasn't. I looked it up actually, and like it's like multicolored boxer briefs. Like they're actually kind of cool.
I need to look this up.
Yeah.
Did you see Shanny in the locker room after he scored that goal?
I did not.
Was he naked?
No. You know why? Because he was in the Red Wings one.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to go to the Red Wings one, but there wasn't time. It's just a jungle. These things, you get in there, you get a few quotes, and everyone wants to just get out as fast as possible. And, I'm done, and I finally go, okay, are the Red Wings still open? And they go, no, the room's already locked.
Oh.
I'm like, the room's already locked? How did they? That's a record breaker. And especially because they're the visiting team, probably not as many people want to talk to them. But the reason I brought up Curtis Joseph is I really wanted to talk to him. But I see he's standing there talking to some people, probably his family. I'm like, okay, I'll let him talk. And also, just a jock. And I'm like, you know what? I'll wait for him to finish talking to his family and put some pants on. And then his family, is done talking to them. Now he's talking to some teammates. Still waiting for him to put some pants on. I waited about 10 minutes for Curtis Joseph to put his pants on, and I'm like, I'm just going to leave. So I didn't end up talking to Curtis Joseph because he wouldn't put his pants on.
Man,
Amazing story.
I would have just.
I mean, it's a locker room. It's his business, right?
Why wouldn't you just go up to him?
I know. Realistically, I should have just been like, "Hey, Mr. Joseph, do you mind?" And he would have been like, "Oh yeah, sure, just 1 second," and then he would have put his pants on. But
Or maybe
again,
not.
It's walking into your dude. It's walking into like my like preteen television and telling someone that I grew up admiring, "Excuse me, sir, can you put some pants on?"
Wow.
It was very trippy.
That's
very
funny.
weird experience.
Is Cujo still in good shape?
I mean, he only stopped playing a few years ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I always wonder what happens to NHLers like almost right after they finish. You know, like, is it a gradual process that they become normal people?
It
or is it like over the course of the summer?
It completely depends on the type of people they are, the type of build. Luke Shen and Braden Shen, for example, they work really hard to keep weight off.
Okay.
Because they love to eat. They'll eat the entire house, and they struggle with it. So I think when they retire, like you might see that pudge come out pretty quick. But other guys like Cody Eakin, I remember talking to him when he was trying out for the Canadian World Junior team. They had him on something like a 3,500 calorie a day diet.
Wow.
And this kid was like, 160, 170 pounds, 5'10", 5'11".
God, I would just eat peanut butter. I would just sit in my room and with a spoon and a jar of peanut butter and eat it.
That's like
You don't do that anyways?
Well, I do, but I would do it more.
3,500 calories. That's Thanksgiving dinner and dessert every day.
Wow.
I heard the same about Nikita Filatov before they kind of changed philosophy about, how nutrition works.
Yeah.
Is Columbus basically told him, shove food down your gut. And he just ate and ate and ate.
Doesn't
until
work
he
like
threw
that.
up. He ate until he threw up. And it's not uncommon. I heard another guy who would have been on the Guelph Storm, but they said, can you put on 30 pounds over the summer?
No.
How do you put on 30 pounds over the summer? So this poor guy ate and ate and ate and ate and ate. And he's on this ridiculous diet, just eating constantly. Problem was he worked at the garden center by our house. What's at garden centers?
Well, you're going to sweat
Well, you're going to sweat a lot, first of all.
and you're going to be working hard.
And you're going to eat in kind of unsanitary conditions. Tapeworm.
No. Oh,
wow. So you're not putting on 30 pounds with tapeworm. And he could have made the Guelph Storm.
Wow.
Could have made he was a good player.
You know what? To me, that's idiotic. If that's not your body type, it's not your body. That'd be like asking Jesse, can you put down 30 pounds? Jesse cannot put on 30 pounds like
At
that.
least Jesse's 6-something. Like,
Yeah.
Jesse's NHL height.
If I put on 30 pounds, I'd probably still kind of look normal.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
It would spread. Jesse putting on 30 pounds would look a lot better than me putting on 30
me too. Me too. I know what me with 30 pounds extra looks like. It's not pretty.
I don't know how did we get
There's
here?
a lot of toast by which to spread that butter upon when it comes to Jesse.
Yes.
Let's rewind a bit. How did we get here?
Who's in good shape?
Yeah.
I mean, they were all in pretty good
Like
shape.
I figured Boria would be like in like unbelievable.
No, they were all calling him Skeletor. Brian McCabe specifically, I saw call him Skeletor.
Imagine
Because he's just ripped to shreds still.
Imagine being a guy confident enough to call Boris Salmon Skeletor, because that would not be me.
Like, how confident would you be just calling him a peer? Like, hey, it's just like, you and I, like former Leafs defensemen, you know.
We're the same.
It's Boris Salming. It's Boris Salming, man. So that was just the day before.
Yeah.
The next day, the Centennial Classic. So I got out of my seat when it was 4-2. And I get to the top of a section to watch the rest of the game.
Where does this sound familiar?
Oh my God. It kind of sounds like Dave Alter's Game 7 story.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yep. So standing there, Dylan Larkin makes it 4-3, and I'm just like, oh God. And I joke with the security guard next to me. I go, it's too cold to go to overtime. She's like, oh, and then
How was she like?
Yeah, that's how I'd react to a joke like that too.
I know it was very much a pity laugh. And then the second the Red Wings score, she just turns around. This is your fault. So the Dangle jinx works with strangers as well.
Nice.
This is your fault. You said it's too cold to go to overtime. I'm like, I'm sorry.
She knows.
This is the Leafs. They do it all the time. She's like, you should know better. Anyway, and then Matthews wins it in overtime.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
Tell me, because that was the most exciting overtime in the history of overtime.
Oh.
Tell me what it was like when Austin scored.
Everyone freaked out. I wanted to get a good shot of it, and that just wasn't going to happen because it was a combination of everyone jumping up at once half of them to celebrate and half of them to leave BMO Field immediately to get out before the rush. And getting out was
I don't
rough.
understand why people do that. You're never going to beat
How are
the
you leaving
rush.
before overtime?
Yeah,
The
people do.
last game I ever went to at the Gardens, it went to overtime, and my dad said, "Do you want to leave?" And I go, "Dad, it's overtime.
Do you want to disown me?
Are you serious? This is the last game I'm ever going to get to go to here." And sure enough, rest in peace, Toronto Maple Leaf Igor Korolev scored the overtime winner against the Tampa Bay Lightning, 5-4. But what was really funny, so the Red Wings tie it, right? And then I got to move out of the way for all these people going back to their seats because they had already left. They're like, the Leafs won. And I guess they hadn't left the grounds yet. And they hear everyone go, "No!" So they go, crap. And they go back to their seats.
Right. Okay. All right. How much an average cost a ticket to a game like that? $200-$300?
At least $150.
Why are you leaving early
Dude,
when you paid that much money?
I'm not leaving a game that I paid $30 for early.
In Tampa, both times. I have been, so Tampa, in the last 2 times I've gone, they've been outscored, I think it's 11-3 in the 2 games I went to. I stayed till the bitter end both times.
I don't get up from the table until my food is done, and I don't get up from my seat until the game is done.
Thank you.
I don't know why you would do that, but anyway, Matthews scores. And of course, it's Matthews too.
Had to be.
I just laughed.
We got to go on Sportsnet 590 The Fan when we come. When you download the show at sportsnet.ca, or you can download us on iTunes as well. We're going to talk about the NHL temporarily eliminating third jerseys next year, plus what the Edmonton Oilers and New Jersey Devils are potentially planning with their jerseys, and these are some huge changes, maybe. Ooh. Maybe. So you can download this show, like I said, on iTunes or sportsnet.ca. This is the Panago Pizza Steve Dangle podcast, brought to you by Panago, of course. It's what's on the inside that counts. So we got to talk about your trade tree with Tom Kurvers before we get to the NHL jersey thing.
Oh, and a correction. Jesse informed me that Kadri's 20-goal year was the year after the lockout year.
Right.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Okay. It was like 15 the lockout year.
He scored 18 the lockout year.
Oh, that was pretty good.
On pace for like 35.
Gee, in 48 games.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Ain't bad. So, Tom Kurvers, what was the interesting thing about that?
Oh, yeah. So
and this is, by the way, an article you can read at sportsnet.ca. We're going to condense it a little bit.
Yeah, probably my largest trade tree. So it happened in 1990. The Leafs, so it was great. I did my research for this, but Gord Stellick wrote a really good post in 2014 about the trade. And he's very fair. Because I don't know, because that's the kind of guy Gord is. He's a nice man. But I'm reading the things he's saying and going, the Leafs are nuts! So basically, they started the 1989-90 season rough. Not even catastrophically, just rough. And they wanted to be better. And they were allowing an average of 6 goals a game, which is brutal. Whoa. So they want to improve. So they need defensive help. So they go to the Devils. We want Tom Kurvers. Tom Kurvers was a good defenseman at the time. And so the Leafs trade their 1991 first rounder. Tom Kurvers improves the Leafs pretty significantly. Leafs make the playoffs. They get knocked out in the first round, but whatever.
They made the playoffs.
They lost to the St. Louis Blues, I believe. So now the Leafs get this, they got this gap, this 1991 first. Now the 1991 draft is significant because the most highly touted prospect of like the last dozen years is going to go first overall. Little whippersnapper by the name of Eric Lindros. Can't give him up. It would be a laughingstock. But that's not a problem. We were a playoff team last year. We got this Tom Kurvers guy. We're going to be fine. Very, very, very similarly to the 09-10 season after the Leafs traded their first round pick for Phil Kessel. The Leafs start 1-9-1.
1-9 in fun.
1-9 in fun. And the 1 was a tie.
Right, yeah, because there were ties.
Yeah, genuine tie back then. And so right now the Leafs are going, oh my God, what do we do? And this is where
it's just a PR nightmare. It's nothing else other than that, right?
Yeah, and this is I was talking about. I don't know if he's technically my boss. Let's go with one of my bosses, Mike Cormack. He's telling me all these little things about this trade. It's just so awful. So the Leafs panic right away because they don't want to stink. But you get the Quebec Nordiques who are almost as bad, and they go, we're happy to stink. We want the first overall pick. So the Leafs and Nordiques make this ridiculous sham of a trade where the Leafs trade them a prospect and 2 second rounders for just 3 vets who weren't even that good, but they were whatever. They were vets. They were warm bodies. Made the Leafs a little bit better. Made the Nordiques a little bit worse. The Leafs finished second last. So Nordiques go first overall. They get Eric Lindros. That's a story for another day. Mm-hmm. Not New Jersey, San Jose. The expansion San Jose Sharks. They'd never played a game in the NHL yet. They are awarded the second overall pick.
Jeff Friesen.
Pat Falloon.
Oh, wow.
Who, it's funny, people look back on that and they dump on the Sharks because they could have had all these other players. Peter Forsberg was another one. And yeah, sure, that would have been better, but Pat Falloon was fine.
Yeah.
He wasn't a bad player. Third overall, Lou Lamoriello and the New Jersey Devils select Scott Niedermayer. Rough. Now, here's where it gets even worse. Tom Curvers went from really good to just garbage overnight. Garbage overnight. The season where the Leafs finished second last there, he had, I think it was 3 assists in 19 games. That's it. Just randomly, he went from like almost a point-a-game defenseman to just nothing. So they trade him to Vancouver for this guy named Brian Bradley, who is a really good goal scorer. He comes to Toronto, and again, nothing. Can't do a damn thing. So the expansion draft happens the next year for the Tampa Bay Lightning, because the league was doing all kinds of expansion. The Lightning grab Brian Bradley from the Leafs. So the Leafs trade Scott Niedermayer for Tom Curvers, Curvers for Brian Bradley, lose him in the expansion draft, and the next year, his first season with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Brian Bradley scores 42 goals.
Wow.
The only thing that makes the only redeeming factor of the trade is Quebec didn't do much with the picks they were given. I think they turned it into like Martin Gelinas, who's pretty good, but wasn't the worst. That I don't know. I have one trade that I want to look at that I think might be worse. But if I can't find a really good reason for why it's worse, this is the worst trade in Toronto Maple Leafs history.
That's crazy.
And again, Gord Stellick wrote a really good blog about sort of justifying it. It made sense. They didn't think they'd be that bad. They had a reason to believe they wouldn't be that bad, and Tom Curvers was good.
Here's my question. Actually, you know what? I think I know what trade you're thinking of. I'm not going to say because I don't want to wreck it. But I think I know exactly what trade you're thinking of because I can think of one trade that turned out worse.
Here, I'm gonna cover my mouth for the camera. Yeah, that's the one.
Well,
I gotta look it up.
And it's not just because of the draft, but it was the player they initially sent.
Oh, that's a bad trade too.
Horrendous.
But they did get some quality back. Okay, this isn't helping.
All right,
anybody. This isn't helping anybody. But I think they all know what trade I'm talking about.
It's by far the worst trade in Leafs history.
Yeah,
to me, by far.
Younger fans think it's Rask for Raycroft. That was bad.
But this is way worse.
This is
way worse.
We're talking like Rask at the end of his career. Will he make the Hall of Fame? Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Scott Niedermayer is like an all-timer.
Yeah,
and
this
other person is an all-timer. As well.
And it's interesting with this trade because had it not been for the gross incompetence on the team that we made the trade with, they would have easily won several Stanley Cups.
Oh, the best part of that trade is they goofed it up too.
Yeah, yeah. So we're just gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that.
Yeah.
All right. So NHL will temporarily, and this is just a report, temporarily eliminate third jerseys next year to make it easy for Adidas to kind of get everything into production.
You know what? I don't have a problem with that.
I was wondering myself, are the third jerseys getting a little out of control anyway? Are we doing a little too much with the extra jerseys?
Not many teams do them well. I don't think. Not many teams do them well.
And you look at, I mean, I hate like what the Cavaliers do with their T-shirt jerseys. I think those are the worst. Have you seen those?
That's an NBA-wide thing now.
I hate that.
They all wear them on Christmas Day.
Have the Raptors done it?
But the Cavs wear it. They seem to wear it a lot more than anybody else.
Because they're in more like national TV games. And that's where they like to wear them.
So they have to wear them in national TV games.
Yeah, like on Christmas Day, they're all wearing the T-shirt jerseys. So
that makes sense.
The Cavs are always in the national games. So yeah.
Are they going to slowly like just make those the jerseys?
I don't think so.
No, and they're bad, and the players hate them. LeBron like tore the sleeves off his.
Yeah.
He like on TV was like,
Is it like to prevent injuries? Or
No,
is it
it's just
for,
because they want to
compression
sell
stuff
something different.
No, yeah, it's just to sell more merchandise. Yeah.
They would tell you it might be compression, but I highly doubt it. I look at baseball, and then I'm not saying that we should follow everything baseball does, but the Yankees are the Yankees. The Yankees wear their home and away.
There's got to be a happy medium because baseball is painfully stubborn.
Yes. But I kind of, you know what? To me, the Leafs are the Leafs. The Leaf, and if I had my way, the Leaf logo that we're currently wearing now would have never been changed in the first place. You know, that was the one of the original logos. I would have kept that. I think that's important. You keep that. You know, the Chicago Blackhawks never changed their logo. Montreal Canadiens never changed their logo. Detroit Red Wings never changed.
Yep.
Stop changing it.
The reason I heard, I don't know if it's true, Harold Ballard changed
Of course he
the
did.
original Leaf because it wasn't trademarked. So it was harder to make money off of it.
Okay. Well, the other ones,
I don't know if that's true.
but that had already changed because the '67 Leafs wore like a different Toronto Maple
They
Leaf crest
wore
too.
the Leafs alternate from a couple of years ago that everyone owns a Joffrey Lupul version of.
Yeah.
I have that. I almost put Phil Kessel on the back of mine.
Man. How many? Yeah. Tweet
Although
us.
I probably should. I should just put Kessel.
Tweet us and tell us your nuts Leafs jersey.
Well, a couple years ago, people used to ask us, who should I get? And I'm like, nobody who is current.
Yeah.
Get a legend. Get Doug Gilmour.
Man, I remember having a conversation with a buddy who always got Leafs jerseys with a leaf on the back. And I said, no one, but if you had to get someone, Jonas Gustafsson.
Oh.
Dude, because he was like the one thing to talk about in town. For a little
Hold
while.
on. You put that on someone?
He didn't do it.
Oh, okay.
He didn't
Jesse
do it.
has a Jonas Gustafsson
I
jersey.
do, but I did not pay for it.
He was given.
There's a
given-
person in the world with a Jonas Gustafsson tattoo. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's a little bit rough.
Oh, can I just...
He
can
just
I-
got put on waivers. Sorry.
Yes, he did. Quickly want to mention. So I'm at the Tampa Bay Nashville game.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I quickly want to mention this before I forget it. You know what? I'll hold on to it. But remind me there was a Leaf element to the Tampa Bay Nashville game. We got to stay on the
Jesse,
Jersey
you're gonna
thing.
have to remind him. 'Cause
Okay, so
that is the wrong guy to put that on.
are we? Can we? My question always was with the third jerseys: can we save them for something like the Winter Classic? For something like it's a special game against a rival and it's a nationally televised game?
I hope the Leafs wear their Centennial Classic jerseys again. Can't just be a one and done.
It might be.
Might be.
I don't know. I just wondered if can we do that because that would be cool.
Are they better than our current jerseys?
No.
I really like them.
You didn't like them at first though, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
I liked them a lot.
I'm a huge fan.
You know what? I really like them from the front. What bugs me is from the back, it's just the lightning. It's just the lightning.
Well,
I like the Centennial patch that they just added. That's cool. But
You're a Centennial fan.
it's a really cool jersey. From the back, it's the lightning.
okay.
It's just the lightning, man.
That's fair.
Wow.
God, that is a good jersey, though. Remember how
really
much we
like
hated it at first?
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I hated the leak version, which I said was a fake, and it was.
And it was poorly lit.
And it was
all that
poorly
crap.
lit, and it was not the right.
Look,
Yeah.
It's a baby
Gold.
jersey or a toddler jersey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which always look like crap.
Yeah.
Unless they're on an adorable baby.
Yeah, they have to be on the baby.
Paperweight, sorry, Adam.
Yeah. Blob of nothingness.
Yeah, that's
really.
right. That's right.
All right, Edmonton. They are apparently dropping their blue jerseys for the orange next year.
No! I think Oilers fans, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Oilers fans love those jerseys.
The orange ones?
I think they're hideous.
They like the 80s versions. I get it. I get it. I think Calgary should switch back to the 80s version of the Calgary Flames jersey. I love the Calgary Flames.
I didn't mind that.
The red, yellow.
I didn't mind
Just
that.
leave it at that.
It's orange. Orange, man. I like the blue with orange accompanying the blue.
Like it as an
Not just
accent.
Orange!
With orange piping, you could say.
God, like, you don't need to make your defensemen look like pylons more than they already do. Like, come on. Oh, we're in a playoff spot. I know, I'm just teasing you.
Speaking of pylons, who's pylons? That's his hometown. Oh! Dion Phaneuf. From Edmonton.
I thought you were talking about Rich Pilon.
No. No, I wasn't talking about Rich Pilon. Wow, man.
No one is ever talking about Rich Pilon.
What? There used to be a defenseman in the league whose name was Pilon.
I know, I thought
don't
that
think we
was
can
funny, too.
ignore that. What?
There used to be a guy who was named Satan. Like, that also happened.
Who never played for the Devils.
That's wrong.
It is wrong. Lou should have been like, I know I'm a fuddy-duddy, but just this one thing.
Let me have this one thing.
Also,
Plus, he was also really good.
We're also going to trade for Steve Hines and let him wear 57.
Nah.
Lou's the kind of guy.
Yeah, we talked about that on the show.
Lou is the kind of guy that would pick up Hines and go, "No, you can't wear 57 because I'm asserting my dominance."
You wear number 2.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, a lot of people are complaining. I kind of don't mind the Oilers in orange only because
Well, I don't care. It's their business.
the 80s colors, man. I'm into it. Go Oilers.
Well, okay. I think Connor McDavid and orange are kind of synonymous now because that's kind of when they started the whole thing. So if that's what you're going with, then go with it. Don't switch back.
Yeah, I'd like it if people stop switching. You know whose third jerseys are terrible? Sorry, New York, but the Islanders NY black jerseys are awful. It's like,
on it.
You know what I don't feel like doing? Making this jersey that I've been commissioned to make. So I'm going to put an N and a Y and make the rest of it black.
You know what New Jersey, or not New Jersey, you know what the Islanders said like 20 years ago? You could probably look it up on YouTube. No more silly jerseys. Remember that?
They said that?
They got rid of the Captain Highliner jerseys and they said, I think in front of like the arena, they go, no more silly jerseys. And they went back to their old NY logo and everyone was like, hey, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And what have they done since? Nothing but silly jerseys. Actually, that's not true. They got it right for a while. When they were in the playoffs a couple years ago, I like those jerseys.
Leave it, guys.
Leave it.
Listen, here's the thing.
We're going to be orange now. No, what are you doing?
The reason they changed the jerseys is to get people to buy them, right? Because you want to have an updated jersey.
How'd that work?
The way you get people to buy your shit is to win. Look at the Yankees. Even I own a Yankees hat because I went to New York and I was like, I am at Yankee Stadium and I'm buying a damn hat because I'm here because this is the most storied franchise in North America and I'm buying a damn hat. It's the only hat that I've ever had that fits. Huh?
How about the Jays?
They clearly.
Oh my goodness.
They are our parent company at Rogers owns the Jays. When they bought the Jays, they changed the logo to this terrible black jersey.
The cartoon bird.
Yeah,
everything back then was cartoon and sharp.
Yes.
Got to make them sharp and threatening.
But it was a cartoon, so it couldn't be. And also the team was the least threatening baseball team we've ever fielded.
We're the Blue Jays. What color is our jersey? Black. What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The amount of merchandise they sold in the last 2 years just
because they brought because they brought the 70s, 80s jersey back. Because that's what everybody wants. Because that's a great looking jersey.
People bought those jerseys en masse before they were even good, and then they got good.
Yeah.
You in the summer, you can't look left or right without seeing J stuff.
No, because they did it right. Leave it. You got it right. Leave it.
Oh, they're going to. They're not changing.
Oh, the Jays are not going to change it. And the Leafs are not going to change. I'm just saying, if you find something good, stick with it. Like Montreal,
they stuck with it. And we made fun of them one year, their Centennial year, they had like 14 jerseys.
Yeah. But does Montreal ever have trouble selling hockey jerseys?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And it's also, right now, I would say the hockey jersey business for an NHL team is quite small compared to even, say, concessions. I would say concessions bring in double the money that a hockey jersey would over the course of a year.
I'm sure we could get some info on that.
I'm sure we could.
Do we all have to buy new jerseys next year when Adidas gets?
No,
I'm not.
No, I'm getting the one this year. I still haven't got it yet. I'm getting.
Should you just hold off? So then you'll have the most.
Listen to me
jersey?
Getting indignant.
No, because I don't want the Sport Logic one.
Oh.
I want to. Or the Sport...
The Fanatics.
Fanatics. What was it?
Andrew Berkshire's company.
Sport Logic. I don't want the analytics jersey. I do want the analytics jersey. No, I don't know if I want the Fanatics jersey. I don't know.
I think this is a Fanatics shirt, actually.
Yeah.
That's a nice shirt.
A lot of merchandise now is being made by Fanatics.
A lot of NHL merch that I've seen is, like their hoodies, are just this press-on glossy thing, and if you fold it the wrong way and if the temperature changes, it wrecks it when you go to pull it apart. Mrs. Dangle went to get me a sweater for Christmas and I wear it. She gave it to me early because she's like, well, it got wrecked and they wouldn't exchange it. So
they wouldn't exchange it.
I can't remember. They were going to. They didn't completely rip her off. They gave her an option. But she's like, screw it, I'll just give it to him. So she gave it to me before Christmas. It's that gray, it's the hoodie that's just like this shirt.
Okay. Steve's wearing a gray Maple Leaf
Yeah, no one
shirt, just
can
so
see that.
everybody
Right.
knows it.
Well, it's on camera too.
Well,
Sorry.
No, just-
You're right.
people-
Okay.
No,
75% of our audience is on.
Fair enough.
70%.
Anyway, and I like that. I like it.
Well, it's on YouTube, and you can look it up.
You can look it up. No, I'm kidding. You fuck. There you go. No, but yeah, it was folded on the logo,
On the logo.
and it got ripped and torn. And it happened to a World Cup thing of mine too. I don't know why companies start. Well, no, okay, sorry. I do know why companies make it that way. It's cheap.
Profit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very careful in what I invest in when it comes to stuff, because I want it to last. And because it's so expensive. I have a Leafs hoodie that I hang up specifically for that reason. Because it's the new logo. I just didn't want it to get bent and stuff out of shape and that sort of thing. Anyway, Patrick Laine has a concussion.
Mother of God, what a hit! Have you guys both seen it?
Yes. McCann laid it into him. Now,
Jake
McCabe.
McCabe.
Now, when I look at that hit, it looks pretty routine.
That hit should come with a jingle after it. Ding, ding, ding. It's squeaky clean.
When a Winnipeg Jet fan looks at it, he left his feet.
No,
he hit his head.
It's mythical.
He dropped an elbow.
No.
He burned down his house. He slashed his tires. He
Made fun of your mom. personally.
robbed my mom. My mom.
Your
personally,
mom.
Before going out and hitting Patrick Laine.
Disgraced all of her. Said all her cooking sucks. Your most beloved childhood things.
My
said are
mom's
terrible.
peanut butter and honey sandwiches, which were my favorite things that my mom used
More
to
like
make.
peanut butter and garbage.
Whoa. Peanut butter and
That's what
hot
he said.
garbage.
Can you look
said
up?
McCabe.
Oh, okay. Jesse's got the hit here. I wanted to look up if Jake McCabe is the same guy who hit Joey Hishinen Jr. My God.
Laine has the puck when he's being hit.
Yep, he's eligible to be hit.
Yeah.
Now,
And,
can we
ironically, McCabe got really injured on this play because Scheifele cross-checked him in the friggin' face.
Yeah, and nobody's talking about how that might be a little unfair. Now, I want to have a look at this one more time, and I'm looking at the.
Oh, this is audio.
The thing is that he doesn't leave his feet.
He doesn't.
And the reason it looks like he's leaving his feet is because the thing underneath your skate that holds the blade in, whatever the hell that's called, is white.
Yeah, I don't actually know what that's called.
I don't know what that's called either. I don't feel so bad. The handle. The thing they use is a handle.
I like handle.
Anyway.
But yeah, sometimes you just get lit and
You get lit.
goodness gracious.
I feel bad for him, though, and I feel bad for Jets fans because that sucks.
Yeah.
And I saw some people talking about taking, maybe we should take that kind of hit out of the game. Well, then you got to get rid of hitting altogether. He didn't hit him in the head.
Listen,
It wasn't predatory.
Had it
Well,
been,
I mean-
had it been Bufflin on Eichel,
And it's the exact same hit. You don't complain.
No.
well,
Gosh.
Jets fans don't complain. I'm sure Sabres fans would.
He was out. He was
Yeah,
knocked
no,
out
that's-
from the impact of the hit.
That is a clean hit, especially
before
when you see
he hits the ice, and then he hits the ice.
If anybody doubts me, watch the ice level replay. Watch the ice level replay of it. It is a clean.
You can't
Yeah,
take clean
and
hits
people were
out
like,
of the game.
I remember reading comments. Somebody was like, "If Laine took one step to the right, it would have been a knee on knee and illegal." Well, he didn't. So that makes it a not legal hit.
If I had invested in Google in the late 90s, you didn't. You don't get to say that.
What are we talking about?
You don't get to say it.
That's called grasping at straws.
Yeah, it's and I saw,
I'm not delighting on this because I think Winnipeg deserves a great hockey team and they deserve a superstar like Patrick Laine.
Yeah, I mean, Scheifele jumped in. I mean, Bufflin was right there. I mean, McCabe might be lucky that it was Scheifele and not Bufflin.
I would take Scheifele over Bufflin.
For sure. I'd take Scheifele coming at me with a stick over Dustin Bufflin.
Sword even. Sword.
But Scheifele fed him as Don Cherry would say, a suey. That's a good old-fashioned suicide pass. What's this that we're looking at here?
Jake McCabe hit on Daniel something?
Paille?
Daniel
Oh,
Paille.
boy. There's another guy who looks pretty confused.
Was that the one you were looking for?
No, who hit? Type in Joey Hishon Memorial Cup hit. It might not have been Jake McCabe, but this.
I hope
this
everybody's
hit,
at home Googling along with us.
I know. I saw this.
Can we
I
take
saw this
these-
hit live.
Are we able to put these hits in the actual video or is that illegal?
Maybe.
I think it might be okay.
We should look into that.
NHL, I think, has an agreement. As long, I don't know about the audio.
Yeah.
Video might be okay.
Yeah, well, we can't put the audio. It's a video.
Yeah, and also
Right.
we're talking. We're the audio.
Well, that's right.
Which hit did you want me to look up?
Type in, damn it, Joey Hishin.
Joey Fatone and Sig, 1999. No strings attached. Great
Memorial Cup hit.
Greatest album ever.
Jesus. Anyway, no, I saw some ridiculous.
Braden McNabb.
Braden McNabb. Okay, wrong guy. Sorry.
Wrong guy.
I saw some ridiculous feedback to this. One was the Jets fans who were mad, which is understandable. Like,
I get it.
I don't hold it against them.
Had it been Austin Matthews, I would have been like, no,
I'd be mad, but I wouldn't be saying things like he left his feet when he didn't.
No, that's true.
Like, I mean, you can't just say things that aren't true. You can't just say things that aren't there. But one I saw was, I don't understand why Mark Scheifele had to attack him after a clean hit. Where's your soul?
Of course
First
he did.
of all, I don't want to be your friend because I know you would never have my back. Ever. My God.
It's not about...
Second of all, Scheifele doesn't have slow-mo replay. It's not Halo. He doesn't have Cortana showing himself in his visor. Okay? He's not wearing a special visor that shows him replay. Phantom cam.
You know what would be hilarious is if Laine was on the ice and all the Jets players got together and went, wow, great hit. That was very clean.
Fair. Fair. They take off their helmet and
tip
give him a tip of the hat.
Of course he went after
Or you
him.
just keep playing and let him lie there dead. Just keep playing.
Hey,
Play around him.
It was a clean hit. He needs to learn.
Yeah.
You get indignant about Patrick. We had the puck there and now we don't. You want to answer that? Do you want to tell me why we don't have the puck
Our Corsi
anymore?
just went down because you had to take that hit.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. Way to contribute there, Rook. Like, where's your soul? I think we have said similar things in the past. Why do you need to fight after a clean hit? That's a devastating hit, clean or not. He knocked out arguably your team's top offensive weapon. Certainly top offensive rookie, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're not going to respond?
No, you're going to respond. And it's good that he
You're
did.
going to respond as long as fighting is 5 minutes.
And by the way, had he not responded, you know that Don Cherry would have gone on national TV and been like, nobody responded, nobody likes this kid.
Oh, he's definitely
too
going
much
to be
of a
like,
hot dog.
oh, Scheifele, good Ontario kid, sticking up for his teammate. There you go.
Yeah.
But kids, and then he's going to rip.
He should rip Scheifele for that pass.
He's going to rip Scheifele for the pass. Good on him for sticking up for Laine. And kids, never do this stupid stuff. Head down.
He's right. You know what? I'm with Don on that one. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. Do not. You know what a suicide pass looks like at the NHL level. You know.
Oh man, that's a bad one.
Lastly, but Bobby Ryan makes $7.5 million.
What happened here? He was a scratch.
He was a healthy scratch, and there was an issue.
Was it, eh?
Acknowledged. It was an issue acknowledged even by Bobby Ryan himself, but they're keeping it in the clubhouse.
Issue is he's not good at hockey. I think that might be.
They sure are paying a lot of money for him.
Yeah.
They sure are. I
would say.
I hope it's not just that he's bad.
Well,
I think it was no. I mean, I would understand that more. I think there's an issue here, and
Does he have a no move?
I will check.
I wonder if he gets protected.
Yeah, I was gonna say he might be selected for Las Vegas.
Bobby Ryan said there was a thing that was resolved, but he said I'm gonna keep it in the clubhouse, and I think Boucher said the same thing, Guy Boucher. So I for some reason I could see Guy Boucher's face, but I couldn't say his name. It was.
You were gonna say like Bond villain.
Bond villain. He had him on a table and he was going to cut him in half with a laser.
We're keeping it in the clubhouse.
No, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. I love the Senators.
Is that a big deal thing if you scratch a star player for a game? Is that like a big deal clubhouse issue, or is it I slept in for practice and I should know better and I get it?
Well, this is the thing. Like Tyler Seguin gets hung out to dry when he's late for a practice. Evander Kane gets hung out to dry for the same.
Nazem Kadri.
What
did he get? 4 games? 3 games for the Leafs?
It was the rest of the year. I think it was 3 games. But like, have a seat, Naz. It was one of those situations where they just wanted to send a new message or new regime and all that, and also the Leafs were terrible anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they were trying to tank.
Horacek mate. Am I right? Nazem
That was
Kadri?
the Horacek team, I think, too. I wonder if that was Horacek's decision.
Doubtful.
No, I think it was Shanny.
Shanny.
I think it was Shane.
I don't think Horacek was making many decisions. I think he was just there.
No.
He was
You
executing.
know what I think? That's great, Pete.
Poor guy. I think he was hung out to dry.
Yep. But are the Sens doing him a favor by keeping it private? Or are they just creating more questions?
Well,
Because I think they're doing him a favor, to be honest.
I think that out of respect to him, they are doing him a favor. But I wonder if he's not the cause of whatever happened. But we don't know.
I would assume he is.
We
now,
don't
here's
know.
the difference, though. Kadri was like a guy in his early 20s. So was Kane. So was Seguin. Ho-Sang got ripped to shreds, and I think he was still junior eligible. Bobby Ryan was drafted in 2005 behind Sidney Crosby. Or was it 2006?
She's
2005.
29.
Yeah, like that guy's almost 30, man.
Ottawa
Yeah.
also
Can't be like, oh, a young player.
Ottawa can't afford to pay Bobby Ryan if he's not producing, right? Because they're not a team where it's like the Leafs where you just pay a whole bunch of guys. If he's not performing, they can pay him $7 million. It's okay. We're the Leafs. We got money. Ottawa has an internal cap. They can't afford to pay him $7 million and him not produce like a $7 million player.
So was he just healthy scratched, or was he suspended by the team? Because I think if there's a suspension...
It was a healthy scratch.
Healthy. scratch.
Okay, because if there's a suspension, I think there's a little bit of money involved. But, God.
They can't be happy with him.
No, it was obviously something that, but they're moving on from it.
How long is Bobby Ryan's contract?
Till forever. Till
That's-
I think-
2022.
Yeah,
he's
there's
staying.
a lot of contracts that go till 2022. Stop.
Was he one of those pre-lockout?
No, he
I
wasn't.
think he might have been.
I don't think so.
When does it start?
I think it was
When
right
did
after. They got him after the lockout.
I don't remember.
They got him in 2015.
Oh,
Signing date October 2nd, 2014. Sorry.
It was because, you know why? It's
Sorry,
because
boys.
Ottawa has a harder time getting players like that
Yeah.
through free agency. Or at least that was the prevailing thought at the time, where Ottawa has always been a great drafting team. So I've never understood why they would go after someone like that.
There was
And has Bobby Ryan, when that contract was signed, had Bobby Ryan ever to that point played like a $7.5 million player?
he showed flashes.
But consistently
No.
in a year.
By the way, the report today that JVR could get like high fives on his new contract. Come on. Come on. If the number
That was a report today that
Yeah.
JVR would only get a high five?
if the number you're calling with doesn't start with at least a 6, he's gonna hang up.
Well, if the Leafs can get him at high five, he's at low five right now. Great, keep him.
He's at a low 4.
Is he low 4? No, he's
at
5.25.
4.25. Joffrey Lupul, I think, is 5.25.
Oh, right. I would pay 5.5 for James Van Riemsdyk.
Absolutely.
Bobby Ryan's goal totals in Anaheim 31, 35, 34, 31.
Yeah, you
good.
locked that
That's
up.
7 point.
You
That's
locked that up.
7.25.
What's he got since?
Since then, in Ottawa, he's 23, 18, 22, and 7 this year.
Oh, baby.
So,
I don't think he would. Honestly, I think he was a good player on a great team
Oh, baby.
who got some great power play time.
Oh, baby.
I would have looked at how many of those goals are power play because that matters.
That's true.
That shit matters.
I think he actually was what people accused Phil Kessel of.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he was too.
Oh, baby. That's
Oh,
boy.
baby.
Oh, baby. The Sens sure need to resolve that one. Not to mention they're paying Dion Phaneuf
Till forever.
a fucklow of money for a very long
$14.5
time.
million for Bobby Ryan and Dion Phaneuf.
Till forever.
And you wonder, how do Senator fans exist?
How do they exist? But how are they second in the Atlantic?
They're doing great.
so Las Vegas, you want a fresh Bobby Ryan?
I don't know. Does he have a new move?
He does have a no move.
Then nope.
Would he
I mean,
waive it?
maybe he waives it.
Yeah.
If I were him, I'd go to Vegas.
Why not?
Make his life hell for the rest of the year, and hopefully he wants to leave.
This is how it starts, man.
You know, scratch him a whole bunch. And
That's
get
how it
out of here.
starts. Eeh. I mean, that's commendable. That's commendable for Guy Boucher in the sense that that team is as good as they are.
Well,
and they're
I-
not getting that out of a $7.5 million player.
How does Guy Boucher not win the Jack Adams this year?
John Tortorella.
Mike Babcock.
Mike Babcock should be in the conversation.
They're not going to give it to him.
They won't.
They
No,
wouldn't
no.
do
Mike
it,
Babcock would be lucky if he ever got it again because
I don't know if he ever got it.
oh, did he never go?
I don't know if he ever got it.
No.
He will
Did
go
Joel
down as
Quenneville ever get it?
Yes.
He did.
Yeah,
Okay.
One
that's
time?
one, yeah.
Okay.
But wasn't it a long time ago?
Yeah, it was like pre.
He was with St. Louis.
It's like
he was with St.
Avalanche
Louis.
or something.
Yeah.
What?
Crazy. Well, yeah, was he St. Louis or Avalanche? He did
He was
both.
an assistant with Avalanche when they won the cup the first time. I think. I have this vision of him going crazy on the bench behind Mark Crawford. Maybe I'm wrong.
When did he perfect that glare of his?
When he was playing. With the Leafs, by the way. Joel Quenneville.
Did the
Formerly-
mustache
Quenneville's
exist?
got his in 2000 with the St. Louis Blues.
Like, as
There you
if
go.
that was the last time Joel Quenneville was the best coach in the league.
When Chris-
This is what I'm saying about the Jack Adams.
It's a joke.
Steve,
It is the overachieving award.
Joel Quenneville clearly hit his peak 17 years ago.
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, he hasn't done
Before
shit
3
since.
cups.
Oh my god!
I know. This is what I'm saying,
When
man.
Chris Pronger was at his height and the captain of the St. Louis was, that's what it was.
It's an absolute joke. Absolute joke. Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
When Grant
And you
Fuhr
know
was
what
still
we
the
would've
goalie.
said?
That's embarrassing.
You know what we would have said if we had a podcast at the time? Oh, Joel Quenneville better thank Chris Pronger for his Jack Adams.
And Al McInnes.
And Al McInnes. Holy shit. Like, you got one of the best defensive bearings of the generation. Oh,
Well,
my
that
God.
clearly means that he didn't deserve
Like
it.
17 years ago, you fucking smart ass. That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny.
Can I tell you about the Tampa Nashville game?
Yeah,
Sure.
finally, man.
Okay, so
Bring it on.
first things first. I have to tell you
You're
about.
the realist.
I'm the realist. I walk into
Or I'm
Amalie
gonna eat your
Arena.
brains,
I go into Amalie Arena,
Nikki.
Nikki.
and there is a.
I'm sorry about your breakup with Meek, by the way.
Oh my god, devastating.
I went into Amalie Arena, and there is a Leafs jersey in there, which is sort of surprising because it's a Tampa Nashville game. Although there are those assholes that go to games and just wear whatever jersey they feel.
I've been that asshole.
No,
I know.
See, now that to me is a
you can't
jersey
do
foul.
that.
You know what?
If you're not a
It
fan of
is.
either team,
100% it is. I walked into the arena, and the second I walked in, I'm like, what am I doing? I saw a Sens Sabres game in Ottawa, and I just wanted to be
See, I saw a Jays Marlins game in Miami, and I saw people there with Saskatchewan Rough Rider jerseys on.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I saw that at the
Rider
Alumni
pride,
game
bro!
too. I saw like a couple Edmonton Oilers jerseys at the Alumni game. I'm like, what is this?
I'm an Oiler fan. Hey, Oiler.
Who was on the back?
Oiler fan.
I saw McDavid and then a blank one.
No, like, if you have Gretzky, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
Gretzky's there. That's kind of neat.
But no.
Maybe they're going to go see Wayne Gretzky and get it signed. Nope. Just McDavid! If you wear a McDavid North America jersey, I would get behind that a little more because maybe that's the only jersey you own.
Yeah, but no.
What are you doing?
We're a team that's
What
playing.
are you doing? What's the matter with you? Seriously. So I walk in there and there's a guy in a Leafs jersey. So it's not totally surprising because Tampa and Florida in general is where most of Southern Ontario, when they retire, go to
And
live.
Arizona.
And Arizona, yeah. Well,
just-
no,
but
Arizona's
no
mostly
one
the
talks
West,
about
though. I find Calgarians and Edmontonians and people from Vancouver tend to stay in Vancouver because the weather's nice. But if they need some sunshine, because there isn't much in the wintertime, from what I understand, you go to Arizona. Here and in the eastern provinces and stuff, we all end up in Florida. And my parents are down there. That's why I say that. And it was an older man wearing a Leafs jersey. Now, it is a Leafs third jersey, the same one that was in the playoffs a couple years ago that
Loophole?
had the Loophole, right?
That's what I call it, the Loophole jersey.
The 1967 patch on it, okay? So, whose name was on the back?
So was it a member of the 2013 playoff team?
No.
No. Was it a much older Leaf?
No.
Did it look like a knockoff?
No.
Is it a member of the current Leafs?
No.
What the
Alexander Steen.
No. It would be, it's late model. It's a player that played after the Leafs
Chris
were in the playoffs last time.
after.
After, yeah, you said like,
Oh, David Clarkson.
so David Clarkson?
There's.
Who are you thinking of?
Do you want a guy?
Go ahead.
I should have probably said Dave Boland.
13 game leafer.
Yeah.
Dave Bolin.
Was it Bola?
David Steckel.
Steckel.
I don't know. I was like, wait a second. That's Dave Steckel's grandfather. That has to be Dave Steckel's.
I love
grandparent.
seeing jerseys of marginal players because I'm like, that's their family.
That's their family. He has to. I don't know where Dave Steckel's from, but I was like, that has to be a family member.
AHL games are great for that. Marlies
Yeah.
games, whenever you see...
I saw a Nathan Parrott jersey once. I'm like,
maybe.
Nathan Parrott.
Maybe. No, we sat behind like, oh God, who was it? It was like Thomas McCollum's family or something.
Yes.
Man, who wears like a named AHL jersey on the road?
That's
Parents.
Parents.
That's who.
Yeah.
And if you're not, I'm sorry, but that's my assumption.
So I'm fairly sure I saw Dave Steckel's either grandfather or great uncle or something like that. Fairly sure.
Interesting.
I could not bring the bag of free stuff back because I still couldn't. It's so big.
Oh my God.
So my parents are driving it up from Florida. They're driving it.
Oh, we are never going to see this.
No, they're
I
driving
hope
it.
it's chocolate.
They'll be home.
And it's just melted.
It'll just be
bullshit.
white. It'll be like chocolate that turns
Oh,
white.
is this white chocolate, Adam? No,
No, it's just chocolate
I mean,
that
it
turns
is
white.
now.
They are driving it home. So we'll get it at the beginning of February. The thing I want to say though is Tampa looks awful.
Well,
They
yeah.
look like a awful hockey. And here's
They're
the thing.
injured to bloody hell.
Yes, I
Yeah.
get that. But when you still have some of the players they had, like really the marquee guy is Stamkos, and he's not playing.
Yeah, they still got the triplets, right?
Yeah. And Tyler Johnson still scored.
Is
And
Jordan out?
I don't think so.
No.
Braden Point was becoming a big part of their team, and he got hurt for a month or two.
Here's what their offensive zone entry looked like.
Okay.
You get to the Nashville blue line, you pass it back to someone who's behind you about 5 feet, and then you pass it across the ice. So the idea is to draw players in, pass it back, pass it across the ice, and then make your entry. That was I saw them do it time after time after time, and literally
They
it
kept getting
failed.
stuffed.
Every time they couldn't even pass the blue line, and you could see the fans. The fans were even pointing it out. That's how blatantly obvious it is. Because when the fans are like, "Stop passing it back and carry it across," like most fans are not X's and O's people.
Did you get to see Subban?
No,
Wow,
No.
so Nashville didn't even have their best defender.
no. Nashville lit the place up,
What was the score?
6-1.
Oh, goodness.
It was. I honestly, if any team is going to lose their playoff position, which I know Tampa doesn't really have right now, I don't.
No,
think.
they're
They-
six.
They're back.
Yeah.
They
They're what's screwing up the playoff picture, I think, because healthy, they're in. Whether they're first, second, or third is neither here nor there. They're in. Then it becomes between the Leafs and the Sens, I think. And then there's the Bruins.
But
We're not giving the Bruins any credit. I think they're in a spot right now. But
is Tampa that good if losing? Yes, he's their star player.
like this will be interesting if they're like 6, 7, 8 points out. Then they get Stamkos back and all these guys. Can
It'll make
they
you-
pull it together at the end of the season?
Which I think they could, but it's interesting how much a guy like Steven Stamkos would add. Because wow,
Yeah, the
because
problem
wow,
is
they
it's not
look
just
bad.
him though.
Yeah, but
And you
they
don't
had,
have
I
Bishop
think-
playing at a Vezina level. And
Well, they had Vasilevsky.
he's not Vezina worthy Bishop. And this is the thing with Tampa. Oh, we'll just go with Vasilevsky. Well, but he's not what Bishop was yet. I think he has the potential to be. But then Bishop wasn't even Bishop, and then he got hurt.
Well, I saw Bishop play at the beginning of December, and he didn't look good either.
Sometimes stuff happens, man. The Panthers too.
Yeah,
Well, top two on their first line are out. Barkov and Huberdeau.
Like that's a huge issue, and people go, "Well, it's because Gallant's not there."
no, it's
Come
Barkov
on!
and Huberdeau.
And Luongo's been injured at times. I don't think they started the season with Ekblad. Malgin just got hurt. I mean, every team goes through injuries for sure, but they have had bad. Oh, Bukestad missed like a month.
It was so bad in Tampa. The first period was so bad that when they said last minute of play in the first period,
They cheered.
someone said, "Thank fucking God." That was the everybody. This guy was a great chirper. He was chirping the whole game. It was fantastic. But that was like, yeah. And it's funny because Tampa does things a little bit differently. You can tell business wise that they're not gonna make their big money off of ticket sales. Where they're gonna make their money is jersey sales and concessions. Because it's like $15 for a burger there. It's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah, I paid $15 for a burger and fries.
But you can't do that in Florida. What's the difference between how How far apart are Tampa and Sunrise?
About 3 hour drive, I think. A 3 or 4 hour drive.
That's far.
It's far.
Yeah,
it's far. It's Miami.
It's like Calgary, Edmonton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seems like Tampa is way healthier than Sunrise in terms of a hockey market. I know Tampa won the Cup one time, but
They are passionate. They're passionate fans. I know I keep...
it's a 3 hour drive.
You
That's
gotta,
it.
you gotta see...
I know it's far.
You gotta see... You guys gotta come down and see a Lightning game. I know I say this all the time. That is a passionate, knowledgeable fan base from what I've seen. They remind me of Nashville fans. They're like the same thing. Kind of market that people don't take as seriously as other markets, but the markets
too.
themselves. Hurricanes too.
Yeah.
And it's funny, being there, it was kind of like you could sense how angry people were getting because they know this team is better than this. And I'm like, and it really, their major problem the entire game was offensive zone entry. They couldn't do it. They can't do it. I don't know what it is. And I wonder if it's not like if someone doesn't have to have a conversation with John Cooper to like, hey, you have Kucherov, you have Tyler Johnson, you've got these guys that are still much better than most players on most teams. How is this happening?
What's more frustrating? Not being able to keep the puck out of your net or not being able to put the puck in the opponent's net?
Not being able to put the puck in the opponent's net.
This year's Leafs team is frustrating in that regard.
But at least they can score.
At least they can score, two.
Yes.
Last year they couldn't even do that, and it was heartbreaking. And it's funny looking at how the Leafs that were on the team last year are doing. Parenteau can still score, but he scored last year. Grabner already has twice as many goals.
What did he have?
And
2 last
Kadri
year?
too.
So Grabner has 4 goals then?
No.
I know.
But
He's leading the
he
Rangers.
had 9 goals last year. He had
He's
9
got
goals.
18.
He's already got 18. Now, his shooting percentage is crazy high, but if you take the amount of shots, if you take his shooting percentage from last year and apply it to this year's shots, he would have 7 goals. So he'd still be well ahead of, he'd be on pace for like a 15-goal season. The Leafs were genuinely unlucky last year. Kadri, man.
Thank God.
Kadri was rough.
Yep.
Rough last year. And now he might be shooting a little high, but...
Hey, I'm happy. I take the bad luck last year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good with it. Anyway,
you talk about the one time I'm happy the Leafs are unlucky.
feel bad for Lightning fans, and I feel bad for there just seems to be some seriously genuine frustration there. Like people were just, it was like there's just a, you know what? I mean, we know Toronto fans know this. When there's something wrong and you can't fix it because you think you might have the answer. You think you got part of the answer. You might think you have the whole answer. You might be arrogant enough to think you have the whole answer. And literally there's nothing you can do because you don't work for the team.
Defensive hockey is so frustrating. I saw it.
Nashville's good at it.
I was so happy the Marlies beat the Albany Devils last year because every time the Devils would get up, they'd get the puck, hit center, dump it. Get the puck, clog the neutral zone, get the puck, dump it. And then if you finally got it in, their goalie was good. I don't know how the hell the Marlies won that game. Won that series.
Barely did. All right, now.
Dickie Clune, series winner.
Couple things we need to do. First off, Hockey Night in Cinema. This weekend in London. So excited.
That snuck up.
It sure did.
Snuck up a little
We're
bit.
already midway through January this weekend.
You have a message from Kenny Burley that you asked me to remind you about.
Yes. Yeah. Kenny Burley.
He's the guy who made us those pictures.
Exactly. And he actually, where we go, Kenny. So here's what Kenny asked. And this, Kenny will be at Hockey Night in Cinema. So if you want to talk to Kenny or order any of Kenny's prints, and by the way, they are awesome, follow him at kburleyart on Twitter. He said, "Good morning, Adam. I was hoping you could help me out. Can you ask the listeners of the podcast to tweet me / or make a Reddit list of the best hashtags created by the STP? It's going into a new piece I'm creating." So that's what Kenny's looking for. K Burley Art. Burley is spelled BURLEYART.
I'm into it, Kenny.
That should be fun. That should be really fun. Hockey Night Cinema should be a
lot
blast.
of seats.
How many people are coming?
I think it's 400. Well, I don't know if it's sold out yet. Sold.
Okay.
They're free.
Yeah. If you want to be there, there are remaining spots.
We heard there was a certain number left, and then we checked like the next day, and that number had decreased significantly.
Right.
So get on that. And some people have had to cancel last minute.
Yep, and we get that. And we appreciate the fact there was one guy who actually tweeted us and said, "Guys, I'm sorry I can't make it." And what he tweeted us was a a thing that, saying that he had rescinded his reservation. Essentially, he went back to Eventbrite and said, "Hey, I'm going to give the ticket back," which is great because that means that someone else will get it, and so we really appreciate you doing that.
Come, for the love of God, give that ticket up. In the event, we forget to post the link. If you just do a quick Twitter search of Hockey Night in Cinema, all one word, it'll come up.
Yep.
It'll be a tweet from at least
we won't forget. We'll get Jesse to remind you to tweet out the link.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you were supposed to remind Adam to talk about something.
The Tampa Bay.
Was it okay? Good. Yeah.
So we're good.
I remembered.
We're on track.
After you said it.
After we talked about it.
Let's do the press conference. Before you ask your question, Jesse.
Yes.
I asked a question on Reddit before the holidays. Actually, 9 days ago, because we're January 10th.
Am I the worst? Your options are yes and yes.
Happy New Year. What is your podcast resolution? So these are our New Year's resolutions from our podcast listeners. From Fred Long, 4257, get into the nucleus of caring. Well, it's obviously working, Fred.
Yes. Oh, yeah. The nucleus of caring is top place right now.
From Thunder 1022, try to be as much of a devoted fan of the Leafs as Adam is to the Habs. Man, that is caught fire for sorry. Like, everybody is on me about the Habs. And I hate it.
It's caught flambe.
Caught flambe.
Adam.
I hate you.
Adam.
From Sharp, to get Levi Maestro to a Leafs game where he can sing, but not sing the anthem song with interpretive dance.
No, he just stands there.
Wow.
Have you seen the Panthers guy who paints a picture while singing the anthem?
There's a, what?
Yeah. So he paints a picture, and you're like, what the hell is this guy drawing? And then he turns it upside down at the very end, and it's like that iconic picture of a bunch of soldiers pushing up a flag. But like the thing is, the guy is like, it's kind of a cool gimmick, but like he's not exactly an opera singer.
I'm going to try the podcast resolution from Luke. I'm going to try to forgive Jeremy Bracco for being an American and making me really sad on January 5th. Oh, I know. And he just got traded too.
He did for everything.
For a bunch of 7-year-olds.
Yeah, 7 and 8 and a 9-year-old. So I believe the package that Windsor traded to get Jeremy Bracco from the Kitchener Rangers involved a 2023 pick, a 2024 pick, and a 2025.
That's crazy.
That's the OHL. That's the CHL. Oh, here it is. Here, Jesse, you want to read that?
Yeah, so in exchange, the Spitfires have sent right winger Cole Carter and defenseman Andrew Burns, along with Windsor's second-round picks in 2023, 2024, and 2025.
Wow.
Spitfires also get Kitchener's 8th-round pick in 2017 and Kitchener's 13th round pick in 2018.
Wow.
13th round pick. What are you doing?
No, we really need that 13th for this Bracco deal to go through.
I could really use your help following Jeremy Bracco, guys, because I'm blocked by the Windsor Spitfires on Twitter.
Why?
I can't remember exactly why. Like, I don't remember what the tweet was that broke the Twitter camel's back. But years ago, the Windsor Spitfires Twitter person was a complete jerk-off and blocked like a lot of people for calling them out on being a complete jerk-off. And so, yeah, I can't follow the Spits.
Can everybody get together and get the Windsor Spitfires to unblock Steve?
Yeah.
Can you just tweet the Spitfires and be like, hey, guys, can you unblock Steve?
Unless it's the same person doing it, in which case I just called him a jerk-off several times.
Well, you could just think he was a Russian guy named Jerkov.
Oh, related to Mr. Yankov. God, I wish you were there for that story, man.
I know.
He was so good.
Have you listened to that episode?
I have.
Oh, you know what? I saw him at the Centennial Classic.
Ken Reed?
Yeah, sorry.
You gotta be specific on the him.
Matt Martin fights Steve Ott. And of course, everyone's going, ah! And Mrs. Dangle points, she goes, someone's pointing at you. I look over, it's Ken Reed. He goes, hey! Makes a big fist, like, yeah, fighting!
Ken's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man.
I don't remember what I was just talking about. Oh, yeah, he was just a total jerk-off. And when I covered Junior, remember how I talked about how I had beef with that one London Knights guy? And that made me kind of hate the Knights? The Windsor Spitfires were the nicest, most accommodating team, And like the Knights had this pompous thing about them.
We're
like,
the Knights.
We are the London Knights, and you have to. Oh, you want John Tavares? Not today. Meanwhile, the Spits were in the middle of winning back-to-back Memorial Cups. Had Zach Cassian, who was a huge deal at the time. Had Ryan Ellis, who was a huge deal at the time. Taylor Hall, who was a huge deal at the time. Greg Nemish, who was a huge deal at the time. Adam Henrique, who was a huge deal at the time. They were stacked to the gills. Oh, and our friend Rob Quitt.
Oh,
From
guy
high
we grew
school.
up with. Another guy.
Ryan Ellis's defense partner led the league in plus-minus that year.
Wow.
I know, random. He didn't remember me when I interviewed him. It was kind of humiliating. Anyway, they had everybody, and they were so accommodating. And then I got blocked by them on Twitter. Because their guy eventually went to another team. But, oh well.
Do you know where their social media guy is now?
I don't. I bet
it was
it's hard to follow. They all go everywhere.
I wonder if it was the same if he went for that internship position with the baseball team where you had to sell tickets and make
He
popcorn.
was a grown man, Adam. He was a grown-ass
You have to
man.
play left wing, also run Twitter at the same
How
time.
dare you? How dare you?
That was one of my favorite stories of all time. All right, Jesse, questions.
Question. Most upvoted question this week. Since we all know that the pictures he put up on social media were clearly fake and photoshopped, Adam, how was your week-long secret getaway to your hometown of Montreal?
How cold were you?
Bon.
All right,
Bon.
Sound like me in French class.
Bonnet.
next question.
Yeah, when did you just stop trying in French?
Grade 7, because we had a teacher we could just completely humiliate. You know those teachers where the class gets the upper hand? Man, we ran. She was also our music teacher. We ran roughshod on this teacher. Like I used my entire band. I don't know how I passed band in grade 7 and grade 8 because I was a drummer and I was terrible. And I used to just chase people around the classroom with my drumsticks and poke them. That was all. Because when you poke someone with a drumstick, it hurts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my whole. We didn't play a song the whole thing.
I can tell you exactly how you passed because this is how I passed grade 10 math. The teacher's worried they're just going to get you again.
True.
So they're like, there you go. You're someone else's problem.
True.
Thank you, Mr. Israel, if you're listening. I know I didn't pass that class, but thank you.
Z19Z writes, I work in a restaurant and one of the customers that comes in every so often is Gary Bettman.
Cool.
I've introduced myself, actually went to the same high school as his kids. And whenever he comes in, I try to have a brief conversation with him while being mindful that I'm a server and he is a customer just looking to be out with his family. So I don't want to bother him too much.
Good.
Okay.
One of my coworkers and I keep joking about the questions I should, or more rather should not be asking him. I want to know two things. What is the most outlandish thing that you would ask him if you were in my shoes? And two, what question would you genuinely want to ask him? Sorry that this was not a short post. Zach.
Don't apologize for that.
Yeah,
Zach.
this is interesting. I had the opportunity to meet him. He was right next to me at the Centennial Classic, and I didn't feel like it. I don't need to meet Gary Bettman. So
Wow.
what would I ask him? what would I ask him? I mean, we've talked about it on the show how you're never going to get a genuine answer out of this person. And
that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
that's
it
his
is fair.
job.
I would rather ask him. He probably who sent that?
Zach.
Zach. He probably gives you more genuine answers than he gives any reporter.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I would just ask him about the kind of guy he is. By all accounts, I've heard he's a nice man.
Me too.
By
I've heard
all
that.
accounts.
Honestly, I've heard he's a very agreeable guy. But you know, the thing is that you have to remember the Gary Bettman we know versus what he probably is very different, right? He's acting on behalf of the league. That's his job.
I assume he's a good person.
Yeah.
I assume everyone is a good person. Outside of their job, I think it's a good way to go about life. Assume people are good until you're
Proven
proved
wrong.
different. In his job, I just can't fucking stand him.
I disagree with his
stand-
policies a lot.
Yeah, it's not even his policies. Like I can't stand fake people. It's always good when you find out a fake person.
If there was a way, you know the truth serum from Harry Potter? Whatever the heck that was called?
I've never seen Harry Potter.
Something juice, whatever it was. Anyway,
Gin
and juice. Yes. The from the doggy style potion book.
Yes, with my mind on my Quidditch.
I would love to hear his stories about owners. If you could ever get Gary Bettman to be candid in a place where he wouldn't be threatened with, his future, like I would love to see Gary Bettman post NHL career where he's retired and then has this attitude like, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to come out and say everything. I would love to hear some of the crazy conversations he's had because the ownership groups in every city are so different. And when you get, especially the guys that are the single owners, the guys that own the team on their own, like a Peter Carmanos, something like that, they're in that position because a lot of times they're a little bit crazy, right? People who are that rich are usually a little bit crazy. And I'm sure there's a little bit of a lot of crazy going on with every team. And I would just love to hear the stories of the back and forth of the CBA, like just... I'm sure there's an owner, at least one, who's a gigantic pain in the ass and would call him at 1 a.m. just because he can. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to know that.
Everyone's brain works a little different. Even Richard Petty, who was not an owner, but he was very high up. His book on, success in the business world starts with he didn't like the popcorn at the Air Canada Centre. Or no, Maple Leaf Gardens.
Maple Leaf Gardens, yeah. He talked about that here.
Yeah. And he still remembers how bad it was.
Yeah, bad popcorn and an overdone hot dog, I believe is what he said. And he said we didn't have the kitchen room to do it.
Yeah, so I did this and that, and he's more than happy to tell you about that. He's just a different dude.
Different dude.
He won't tell you about, and then we made this trade, and then we made that trade. It's, we made the food better. That's just different. Zach, if I were you, I assume you know his kids. I would say, I went to school with whatever their names are, and do you ever get to watch games with them? Like, we always see you on TV talking to this fancy guy, that fancy guy. You ever just get to just chill and watch a game with your family?
That's cool. That's a good question.
That's what I would ask.
I want to know who Gary I would Bettman say, is. I have this podcast.
Can you hold this cookie above your head? No. Holy shit. Jesse's best ofs while we were gone, those were great.
Well, it's you guys.
I know, but I had a really good time.
Man, we sure as well. Also, have I told you about how I don't care to meet Gary Bettman?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I would ever ask him.
I know. Listen, if I don't make fun of, if I don't tease you, we don't have a show.
I know. It also gets to a point though where, okay, it's our job to talk about these things, and I get upset about Gary Bettman sometimes.
Me too.
And I've said some awful things about him. It would be pretty disingenuous if I walked up to him and shook his hand and said hello.
Would it?
I think. After the things I've said, let's not pretend like I like this person.
Yeah, don't act like you don't have an opinion on him.
Yeah,
my opinion is I can't stand this
It doesn't mean you can't respect the man. And that's the thing, is that I will...
Sure.
I think there are some things that he's done, and I've been very vocal about them. But that doesn't mean, just because I disagree with someone, doesn't mean I can't go up and shake their hand and go, listen, you're on your side, I'm on my side, but I can shake your hand.
I think it's unfair to not let him know that you feel that way. Like, if you just go up to him and shake his hand, pretend that you don't already have feelings.
At the same time, it would be psychotic to be like, hi, Gary,
I disagree with this and this. I think this is where I disagree with him.
Yeah.
This is where I disagree with him.
Okay.
Outside of that, if I meet him personally, I'll shake his hand and go, nice to meet you.
If someone introduced me to him.
Of course.
I would, but I would never just walk up to him. I've had several opportunities.
And I also think so to answer Zach's question, I would stay away from talking to him about hockey.
He's so sick of it.
Yeah. Yes. And believe me, that goes for every NHLer. Mm-hmm. Everybody connected with the game. And this is not an insult. Unless they're at a public event where you're there, like it's a fan fest or something like that, believe me, these guys don't want to talk about hockey. That's how they live. Mike Babcock shows up. Did you guys see the Centennial Winter Classic behind the scenes stuff? Mm-hmm. Babcock was there at 5:30 in the morning.
My God, which means he got up at 4:30.
And what time the game start?
Those were done really well.
Really well.
The epic stuff. Oh. Also, the blueprint. For as secretive as this Leafs team has been about stuff, I mean, the epics was really good.
The blueprint's amazing.
Really good.
Amazing.
I mean, they get to control how the team is perceived.
Sure, but it's still it's a better look at than what you would have otherwise.
Yeah.
I would say this. If you meet those guys, just say, hey, really, love watching you play. Don't want to bug you. That's always my thing. Love watching you play. Don't want to bug you. Nice to meet you. Move on. If you want to get a picture, you should get a picture, whatever. But if you stand there and you talk to them about hockey for 20 minutes, unless they bring it up, chances are they're probably like, I don't want to talk about it. But you could, let's say you're at a concert and be like, hey, isn't Metallica great? Yeah, I love this album. Then bang, then you've started a genuine conversation.
There you go. Yeah,
right?
Gary Bettman at a Metallica concert.
Absolutely. That's why I picked him. Or Gary
You look
Bettman.
over, it's just little Gary Bettman. Say your prayers.
Gary Bettman. What is the best Wu-Tang album? Liquid Swords, obviously.
Well, now, so you're at a restaurant. What's your favorite food item from around the league? What's your
Or maybe
your
just say-
favorite thing you've eaten from around the league?
Or maybe,
Or maybe it doesn't have to be around the league.
yeah,
It just has to be
you don't have to
what it is.
interview him.
Yeah.
Just talk to him. He's a guy.
Yeah.
You just, again, that's why I say
Weird
you disagree.
weather we're having.
You disagree with the man, right? That's why you can go up to Gary Bettman and go, hey, it's great to meet you. You can disagree with the man, but that doesn't mean that you can't be civil and even enjoy each other's company. You don't have to agree with everybody to enjoy their company.
It's weird. Like, I've talked smack about Alex Burrows before. And then I was at Smash Fest this past summer, the charity ping pong tournament. And, oh, God, who won? Oh, what the hell is his name? Patrick Eves. And Alex Burrows was one of the better players in the tournament, but Eves beat him. So he signed a ball and gave it to Burrows as a joke. But then they just started using the ball. And balls are going flying all over the place at this thing. They're always ending up by your feet. And one lands at my feet, and I pick it up, and it's a signed ball. And I read it. It's Patrick Eves addressed to Alex Burrows. So, like, it's not just a signed ball. It's addressed to someone. I should go return it to that someone. So I found Alex Burrows, and I gave it to him. And, we exchanged smiles, and we had, it was just it wasn't a conversation. It was just a friendly moment. And then he does that thing to Morgan Riley, and I just completely tee off on the guy. I call him garbage. I hold up a garbage can and say, this is Alex Burrows. Like, I can't have that nice little moment with Burrows again. Well, I could, but it would be phony of me.
No, I don't think
what I mean?
so. I don't think so. And like, here's the thing. I disagree strongly with Don Cherry on many things.
Criticism, though. I called him garbage.
Okay.
It's not, I don't like the way he plays. I literally called him trash.
All right.
I said, like, I couldn't, in good conscience, interview Alexei Emelin after saying he looks like bad breath. Which I have said.
All right. Well, guys, we got to wrap it up because we're running out of time, unfortunately, in the studio. But
sure,
love you both. We got to go. Thank you so much for listening. First episode of 2017.
That was fun.
It was.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.